Tonight, the future of Australian swimming takes to the blocks. From every corner of the country, the nation's best young swimmers have come together with one goal: to become a household name. These athletes are chasing a national title. They're the ones pushing limits, breaking barriers, and dreaming of wearing the green and gold on the world stage. Some will leave with medals, some will leave with records.
Lincoln Wearing in lane 4. He's broken Mac Horton's Australian record in the 15 years. An Australian record there, breaking Nicholas Stupis's record at 29.84.
For some, it's the start of something extraordinary.
16-year-old Sienna Tui sealed her Dolphins debut, a dream realised amid tears of adulation.
Among this group are the swimmers who'll become Australia's next champions, the next Olympians, the future legends of the pool. This is where it all begins.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre for night 6 of the Australian Age Swimming Championships, live on Nine's Wide World of Sports. We've had 5 incredible nights of action. We've seen breakthrough swims, personal best absolutely shattered, and a glimpse of the next generation of swimming stars rising through the ranks. Tonight, night 6 of finals. The athletes are ready to step up where it matters most, and this is where the champions are made. I'm Matt Welsh, joined in commentary tonight by MC Bomb and Alex Graham. And after another big morning of heats, big in length and big in quality, we've got our finals in front of us, A finals, B finals, but it is all about getting up tonight and racing.
It is hard to believe that we are on night 6 of racing. We've seen 11 Australian age records absolutely shattered through this championship, so it's been fantastic to watch. I'm wondering who is going to come out with an Australian age record tonight, but if not, we're going to see a lot of age champions here. As Alex, we look at that program of events.
Yeah, we do indeed, and we might see a record straight up. I'm looking straight to the girls, 17, 18 years, 50-metre butterfly, where we had some rapid swims this morning. Moving into that boys, 17, 18 years, 400 free. Try and get as close as we can to that 350. The girls, 13 and 14, 400 IMs. The boys, 200 IMs for the 13 and 14s. Moving into some shorter stuff with 100 freestyles. And then the 200 backstrokes. And girls, 200 freestyles. 100 breaststrokes as well. So we got a bit of everything tonight. And we'll finish off with some 200 backs. Some short, sharp 50-metre butterflies. Then into some fun stuff. The 1500. And some relays, some club relays on offer, some national titles, some club pride.
The relays are so exciting, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. They'll be firing and everyone just gets around each other, and it's a great opportunity to swim with those that you train with. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, that'll be a fantastic way to finish night 6 of finals, but we haven't even started yet. The officials have just walked onto pool deck. The swimmers are ready and raring to go. And our first race up, we have the girls 17 to 18 years, 50 metres butterfly. So we talked about those short, sharp sprints, and we're starting off. So A final and B final for the 17-year-olds, and then same for the 18s. The crowd pouring in and getting ready to watch. More importantly, those support their favourite swimmers. And the breeze just cooling down this very hot centre here at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre. All day the sun has been beating down and warming it up, and this cool evening breeze is just calming it all down, ready for a very hot night of action. So you can see the Swimmers coming out onto pool deck at the far end of the pool, ready for their 50 metres butterfly. This will be the 17 years A final.
Certainly some good racing in those 50s this morning. They're super quick, they're super fast, and it's about getting everything right. Especially with that butterfly, it makes it hard to time that position on the wall. So we'll see who can take out the 17-year-olds A final, as Lily Kosh looked very strong in 5. But Potts was your fastest qualifier in the only person to be under that 27-second barrier this morning. So she sits at that 26.78.
It's going to give you confidence, isn't it? Saying I'm in a different league almost.
Absolutely. I think, though, when it comes down to these 50s, it can almost come from anywhere in the field.
We've seen it.
We certainly see it all the time. I think those 100s, those 200s, you look more at those middle lanes. A little bit of flag movement at the finish end, but won't change too much in butterflies. We get into those backstrokes, we'll have a look to see what those flags are doing for those athletes, but looking strong is these 17-year-old girls in this 50 butterfly. First event of the night. Really got to set the scene here for the rest of the swimmers.
Yeah, no pressure.
Take your marks.
17-year-old A final is off. The first race of the night. And one lap of the 50 butterfly splash. Eva Potts looking very strong. She's definitely the first to the 25. Lily Kosh right next to her. So it's Potts and Kosh. Both of them keeping their head down. Our last breaths coming through. Got to get the head down to the wall. One more stroke. It'll be Potts in a time of 26.69. 26.80 for Lily Kosh. And the newest Australian champion is crowned. So gold medal for Eva Potts, Lily Kosh in for silver, Sophie Jacker in for bronze. Emma Stewart, the first through without the medal, but a great swim nonetheless, 27.78. You can see how much ground they made in that first 25. And very little between the entire field. So 26.69 your winning time, but from pretty much third of 27.5 down to 10th is less than a second.
And that's what we talk about, those swimmers being so tight onto the wall. So a fantastic job. 26.69 takes out the gold. 26.80 takes out the silver. As these are our ladies in the B final.
Take your marks.
B final away. We saw how important this start was. Very long underwater. I love it from Tabarelli in the middle of the pool. Also looking good. Broughton in lane 7. Nellie Pete looking good out in lane 1. And Frankie Somerville coming through in 3. I think it's going to be Somerville who touches first. It is. So Frankie Somerville first in the B final, then Sarah Clayton, Marley Broughton, and then Nellie Pete in lane 1 is your 4th place getter. Again, so little between the field. About 0.3, 0.4 of a second between second all the way through to 10th. It's they're tricky, these, Alex, these 50s. You get a good start, you put everything together, and sometimes it just comes down to the finish, but there's so many components you've got to get right.
Yeah, there is. Even that A final, Eva Potts did such a good job, got to the front, and was a little bit long on the finish, but got the job done in the end. And right there as well, it all comes down to the touch. So, really good opportunity to nail your starts. Those underwaters are especially important in the butterfly.
I was almost surprised to see, you mentioned the A final, I was almost surprised to see, I think it was Lily Kosh, took a breath at the flags. I'd
She
just
only
head
took
down and go for
two.
it.
She only took
Oh,
two.
for the whole
So
thing.
she obviously just really needed that one. I saw that. Her first one was only maybe just before the 35.
Right,
So
okay.
I think she was just, really needed the oxygen.
Sometimes it can help to just give your distance on the wall as well. Just go,
Yes.
yep, I can see it. Bang on 3 strokes, let's hit it.
Yep.
But I was surprised. I sort of thought I'll head down to the wall now, and then she brought her head up. But we're into the 18-year-old A final now. Olivia Hine, your fastest qualifier from Somerville House. She's the Australian record holder, 26.21.
For a 17-year-old. So let's see if she
Yeah,
can
for the
take
17.
the 18-year-old record.
She's the title holder as well, so she won this last year in a 26.56 for the 17-year-old. But exactly, now into the 18-year-old category. Alice Monaghan, Paige Carey, Jessica Whiting.
Do you think we're on record watch for this one?
She went 26.44 this morning. The Australian record, I don't recognise that, Emily Seabom. Wow, I didn't realise you had a 50 butterfly. That's so cool.
We'll get Em to call this one. Just call your record going down.
Take your marks.
So often, everyone with their fingers crossed so that Olivia Hine can get this Australian record. 26.08 is what she's after. In fact, it doesn't matter who gets it, just needs to be got. Olivia Hine now, the laid 4, absolutely blitzing it. This is how you do 50 fly. She went 26.44 this morning. Oh, 26.09. 1/100th off the Australian record. Emily Seabom, your record stays for another swim. Fantastic swim, though. I'm going to have a chat with Olivia to tell her not to cut her fingernails next time. 26.09, she comes into the wall. Absolutely dominant swim.
Yeah, well executed. She just didn't even take a breath that whole lap. I was watching towards the end there to see if she was going to pop up. She was head down, had that record in her sights. But she'll walk away with an 18-year-old all-comers record, which is a great effort there.
Absolutely.
So the records are now pretty tight. But, yeah, terrific swim. Whiting in second there, also under 27. Audrey Jackson with a 27.0.
Well, Emily Seabom has rejoined us. She was throwing herself on the ground. She thought it was gone, but it stayed somehow. As we now move to...
It stayed because it's good.
It was very good.
But that was a
Just
dominating
jokes.
swim.
It was a very strong swim. It
We don't
shows just
see
how
that
good yours
much in-
was.
Yeah, that's true.
So boys 17, 18 years, 400 metres freestyle. We've gone from the 1 lap dash now to the 8 lap. We called it the other day the prolonged sprint. I think you coined that, Alex, and I think you're dead on. And one of the biggest names in the field, Machirondo. Also, Kaligaropoulos is a big name. But he has really been dominant.
He was very strong in the 400 IM. He's been strong in the 200 butterfly. We saw him in last night. Metro Honda's really done a massive amount of racing here at these age championships. And we spoke about it this morning. He's not only been strong just for finals, he's been super strong in those heats. So
Agreed. Yeah.
we'll see what he can produce tonight. He's going to get a battle with Luke Higgs right next to him in lane number 5 and McCormack in 3.
Yeah, you did right, Emily. So strong. A lot of the swimmers backing off in the heats. He just keeps it going, so his racecraft just gets better and better.
Take your marks.
17 years, 400 metres freestyle, 8 laps of your best. We've seen amazing swims from this age group, and Machirondo has been amongst a lot of it. Getting those long arms to get him out into the lead. Very early stages of this race, but he seems to be right on top and in control. McCormack next to him is doing his best to go too, as well as Charlie Austin. So Austin turns into 26.43 down in lane 7. Machirondo 26.58, just about a tenth back. Then McCormack.
Charlie Austin got a faster stroke rate than what Matthew Honda does. He seems to have almost a catch-up stroke, so it's very long, and his other arm almost catches up to the other one out in front. As he takes that turn now, he does take over that lead in 55.45 in front of Charlie Austin in that 55.67, that third position at the moment. McCormack in that 56.66. Not far off of him too is Luke Higgs in that fourth position, 56.68. So not much in it at all for that second, third placing, and those two boys really battling it out for that first position as they come down to that 150-metre mark now.
Yeah, doing a great job there. Muchio Hondo was through fast this morning in around a 1:55, and then looked to me like he shut it down. So we'll see what he's got in store in the second half of this race. They come towards the halfway mark, but he's looking very efficient. Stroke is very long. He's not got too much water around him, so he's holding the water very well. But also out there, Charlie Austin doing a great job. He fired on the first 50 and sticking with it in that 100 metres. Could be a plan to just take it out as hard as you can and hold on. But we'll see the rest of the field slowly moving through now. Luke Higgs next to Mutria Hondo, trying to get up there on his wake there, just getting up by the hip. Starting to make a play now, and in this 400 you will see different athletes taking it on different parts of this race, and maybe the third 100 is a tactic for Higgs. But Charlie Austin is looking very good moving through 250 metres. He's holding sub-30s. So is Mutria Hondo. Luke Higgs has just dipped under the 30 seconds per 50 as well. But I'm wondering if the boys in the middle can see Charlie Austin out there. So he might be sneaking by them. But Mutria Hondo looking that way now as they head towards the bell and the last 100 metres of this race. It is Mutria Hondo moving through now. They'll start to pick up the stroke rates. They'll start to kick a little bit more. Let's see what they've got left in the tank. Luke Higgs definitely picking up the stroke rate a little bit. Mutria Hondo holding water well, but I think it's Charlie Austin at the moment who looks the best of the bunch. Mutria Hondo just looks so long and efficient. Looks like a Mac Horton type swim here. As they head towards the last turn, who's going to take that momentum in from this lap and see what they've got on the way home? This is going to be a pretty swift final as they turn for home in 3:24. A sub-30 split will net them a pretty handy time. But Mutria Hondo, our visitor, so he will take out the race if he can hold on. Charlie Austin and Luke Higgs having a battle here for the Australian national title in the 17 years age group. We'll see who's got enough legs coming home. They're both fighting, all three of them, moving towards the wall. They got a little bit of wind assistance, but it will be Mutria Hondo who will take this one out. A very good time, 3:52.88. And it will be Charlie Austin, the early leader there, who will hang on for second place and first Australian. So Charlie Austin, national title there, 3:53.91, and Luke Higgs with the silver medal. Silver second Australian, 3:55.08. And Oliver McCormack out there in lane 3 will pick up a bronze with his 3:57.
Well, we've talked about consistency, especially in these distance races. Mutria Hondo, the only swimmer in the entire field to split every single one of those 50 metres in under 30 seconds. There's some others very consistent, but no one else managed to keep them all under 30 seconds. That's
and
what
a couple
of
28s in there too.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Well under in some cases.
Fantastic to see that. And he takes out another win here at the Age Championships. Obviously, our Aussie there, Charlie Austin getting the gold, Luke Higgs getting the silver, and Oliver McCormack getting the bronze. A 3:52.88 sounds super fast, but then you look at the Australian record and it's 3:40.
I thought the exact same thing. I thought that's a strong swim. What's the record? Oh, that's right. Thorpe exists. He's in the world. He's in this universe. And when you've got a 17-year-old going 3:40,
unheard of.
It's, yeah, that's just incredible. Just a phenomenon. As we move into the 18 years, Lucas Fackrell, he won the 17 years last year. He swam a 3:53, so about a second off, a bit slower than Mutria Hondo just swam. So still a very strong swim in the 400. He's the fastest qualifier for tonight. The only swimmer, that, in fact, this morning who broke the 4-minute mark.
He looked like he ever so slightly relaxed in the last 100 this morning. So I don't think he really pushed it to his extreme. So he's left a bit in the tank tonight. I think a fair few of these boys didn't really give it everything this morning.
Well, if you're thinking you're going to be fastest qualifier, you wouldn't, would you?
No, you wouldn't. And there's no real difference for a freestyler to be in lane 4 or to be out on the outside. Alex?
No, not at all. I mean, lane 9, you just don't have enough vision, or as much vision. But in these races, you've got to stick to your race plan and stick to your gun, because if you start looking at what everyone else is doing, you can get lost in someone else's race plan. Can tend to happen.
Take your marks.
18 years, 400 metres freestyle. They're away and setting them off. They're off a pretty of a strong pace. It's amazing to think they're going to hold this for another 8 laps. And we're looking for that consistent swim. The previous race, all of the splits under 30. I think we're going to get a few of that in this 18-year category. And they start them off. And Lucas Fackrell starts them off with a 26.94. Second through McGoffin, 27.03. And then Kido, 27.17. So starts them off at a pretty strong pace and says, all right, this is my race. If you want to come with me, you've got to go now.
Fackrell looking strong in 4, pulling away. He's got half a body length on this field now already. As he comes to that 100-metre turn, he'll lead them through here in a 55.79. Shadforth second to the wall in that 56.91. And McGoffin in that third position, 57.08. So from here on out, like Welshie said, it's all about that consistency with those 50s. We want to see these boys under that 30 seconds every single 50. Hopefully Fackrell can hold on to 29s and a lot of 28s in there. And that will get him around that 350 tonight.
He's really taking this race out. It was a good tactic. You want to lead from the front. Otherwise, if you leave yourself too much room at the end, you might not be able to catch up. But he's doing a fantastic job here. A 29.0 split at the 150-metre mark. He's looking comfortable, really smooth, not overrating. See, he's got a bit of a glide at the end of his stroke there. He's got a really comfortable kick going on behind him. So he's going to drive him through to the 200 metres. A 154.73. Now, by reference, the last 17 years, A final, Mutria Hondo, who ended up with that 352, was 155. So if Fackrell can hold on and keep splitting those sub-30s, I think we're in for a pretty solid time here as he moves forward. He's putting a bit of distance on Shadforth and Noah McGoffin.
Yeah, Shadforth trying to catch up. Fackrell's really pushed himself a long way into the lead. Nathan Williams, one of the fastest splits, trying to hold on to third. Shadforth and Fackrell, the only two in the pool, still holding under 30 seconds, or at least they did on the final. So a similar story here. Fackrell, the only swimmer to be under 30 seconds for each of his splits. Now with 100 metres to go, he takes an extra little breath going into the wall. I don't think it cost him that much time, but it ruined a little bit of rhythm. But it's okay because he went straight into a turn, and now the sprint home. Shadforth looking strong. I don't think he's going to catch Fackrell because Fackrell still looks good. Williams, McGoffin fighting it out for third and fourth, and then Gilbert in for fifth.
Fackrell really putting the hammer down now. You can see his stroke rate has lifted. He's moving his arms a little bit quicker. He desperately wants to get to the wall. He knows his time from last year, which is 353.76. He's seen the boys in the previous heat go 352, so he wants that time. And he's driving those legs forward now. He's picked up the rate, and Shadforth trying to keep up at the moment, putting together a pretty handy swim as well. But it is going to be Lucas Fackrell coming down to the final 10 metres of this race, who's picking it up, trying to hold his breath that last 5 metres and get to the wall in the 3:53.32. Very solid time there, and Shadforth into that second place 356.21. It will be Noah McGoffin. Spackle gives us a little yee-hoo.
He does enjoy it, and so he should. 353.32. Again, the only swimmer in the field to hold sub-30s for every single 50. Consistency reigns supreme here at the Age Championships. Fantastic swim to take out the 18 years 400 metres freestyle. And he really let it hard from the start. He took them out strong and potentially just felt that at the back end of the race. Wasn't able to drop too much time in those final 100s. So a nice time nonetheless. Macho Rondo's 17-year-old time pretty strong.
Junior Pan Pac qualifying time for the boys as well. Maybe that's why Packer was pumped.
Yeah, he made the time. A 3:55.08 is what he needed, and he got it by a couple of seconds. So that puts him in a pretty good position. We now go from one 400-metre event to another. This time the individual medley. It's the girls 13 to 14 years 400 IM. So two finals rather. A finals, one for the 13 years, one for the 14 years. Looking forward to both, but my eye is cast to that 14 years, Lucy Ma, in the next one. That'll be exciting. But we saw a great swim from the young Molly Young last night, and it's a chance to do it again.
I'm excited to see what Molly Young can do. She has been a staple throughout these championships. She won a sneaky one last night, just got over everyone else, just on the wall it was. But also as the 13-year-old in this field, the fastest of them, she was the second fastest overall. So she almost beat all the other 14-year-olds. The only one that outswam her this morning was Lucy Ma. So pretty incredible to see.
That almost says it all, doesn't it? That's it. Yeah, dominant.
She was very strong this morning. She's 5 seconds ahead of anyone else's time from this morning's heats.
And it is a heat. People will back off, etc. But it's still a very strong indication of what to expect.
Take your marks.
13 years, 400 IM is off. And straight into the butterfly up early was Anna Monterova. And she wants to get out ahead, but it's Molly Young who wants to break them at this early stage. Trying to go with her, Hannah Fleming there in 3. Also looking good, Harbour Mulcahy out in 2. And Alex Henniker out in 9, not wanting to be left behind either. So down to the touch, and young Molly Young touches in a 31.16. Second through was Fleming, then Henniker out in lane 9 was third. Fourth through Mulcahy. So now trying to come back in this 50 butterfly, trying to keep the length in the stroke, not trying to tire themselves out too much, but setting themselves up for the next backstroke leg.
We know it's important to get in front here in the butterfly and the backstroke if your breaststroke is not as strong, because we see a lot in the breaststroke that lead changes or someone's able to extend on that lead by a dramatic amount. As Molly Young turns through at that 100-metre mark in that 1:07.65. Fleming right next to her in lane number 3, battling it out in that second position, that 1:09.18. And Mulcahy there in lane number 2 in that 1:09.98 third position. And here comes the battle, finding that rhythm in your backstroke, making sure you don't burn out those legs too early into this race. We still have the breaststroke and the freestyle to go as she turns through. Molly Young extending on that lead, that 1:46.95. She's got 2.5 seconds over the field at the moment. Fleming's still in that second position and Mulcahy still in that third in this backstroke where they're pulling away from the field here.
Now, it's not a massive difference in distance, but Molly Young did push just past the flags in that butterfly, did those few butterfly kicks. The others come straight up, getting into that oxygen quickly. I think it speaks volumes of how confident Molly Young is and how good her skills are coming up to the halfway mark. She touches into 225.61. Second through Fleming, about 3 seconds after her, and 2 seconds after that is Mulcahy. So that lead just starting to extend out now, and we expect big things to change in this breaststroke, though. It can be the differentiator. And Fleming, if anything, coming back at Molly in this breaststroke leg.
And as we come down to that turn mark, we'll have a look at these splits. But Fleming, like you said, Welshie, looking very strong here and is really trying to come up onto that lead now that Molly Young has. We've seen that changed dramatically in just the first 50 of this breaststroke. So we'll see what they turn through here. And it's changed dramatically. Hannah Fleming there in a 43.29, 2 seconds in front of Molly Young, just on 150. So we'll see if she can extend that lead as we come down into that freestyle, because we know Molly Young will be very strong in that last 100 metres. So Fleming's got to do all she can here in the last 25 metres of this breaststroke. She needs more of a lead than that. She's only got half a body length at the moment.
Molly Young looked across to see Fleming. She gained 2 seconds, Fleming did, on Molly Young, and that's exactly as you said, Emily. And coming down now, she's done almost the same in the second 50. So now with a bit of work to do to get it, but Molly Young is strong. And she's already bridged that gap.
And here's the battle right now with Young and Fleming in this freestyle. Molly Young's taken over the lead from Fleming, who built up such a strong lead in that breaststroke, but it wasn't enough to take the gold. Molly Young doing everything she can to extend on this lead now. She leads through in a 34.20. 2.5 seconds faster than Hannah Fleming there in lane 3 as she comes down to almost 25 metres left to swim. It's hers in the bag.
Yeah, it's a fantastic 400 metres individual medley from our 13-year-olds, especially Molly Young. Hannah Fleming, really gutsy breaststroke to bring herself back up, but just couldn't quite outshine in the freestyle like she did in the breaststroke. So Molly Young comes down to touch in a 5:03. That is a very quick time. 5 minutes, 3 seconds, 0.52. Second to the wall, about 4 seconds almost exactly behind Hannah Fleming, 5:07.51. Third to the wall, Monzarova with a 5:11.29. And Layla Tola in for fourth. Harper Mulcahy for fifth. And Henniker was right up there at the start, holds on for sixth. So strong in the butterfly. She really made her mark in the backstroke. Wasn't quite able to match Hannah Fleming in the breaststroke, but got the win in the free. Love the 400 individual medley. A little bit of everything, and that race had it all as well. So results are official.
Molly Young takes home another gold medal here at the Gold Coast. Hannah Fleming will take the silver, Monzarova the bronze. As we have a look now, this is the next event on the program. This is your 14-year-old girls 400 individual medley. Lucy Ma back out here in lane number 4. She was dominant this morning in the heats. She has a big program. She's got 2 events on tonight. So not an easy day of racing for Lucy Ma. But we know we've seen her in so many events already where she has just been strong in everything, from breaststroke to backstroke to
it's almost
50
a common
butterflies.
theme every night. She seems to have multiple events. It's a huge program. I haven't counted them all, but definitely double figures.
She'd
and
be
we're into
doing
day 6.
a massive amount of Ks during this H Championships too, with
Just
warm-up,
warm-ups,
warm-downs.
Absolutely.
The racing itself. She celebrated her birthday throughout this. I think night 1 or night 2 was her birthday.
Yes, it's
So
been a
she's had
massive week.
A big week of racing.
Wow. Yes, that's true. It was her birthday. We tried to sing happy birthday, but she wouldn't have it. So now the 400 individual medley, one of the big ones for her. She's had some hundreds, had some 50s, but this 8-lapper is pretty much all of them put together.
She's fired up, Lucy Ma. Dancing around. I reckon we're going to see something pretty handy here.
Take your marks.
Off and away for the 400 metres individual medley for our 14-year-old girls. Always starting, obviously, with the butterfly, and it's such a balancing game, trying to get yourself out. You want to get into some clear water, give yourself a bit of a breather in front of everyone else, but not kill yourself while you're doing it. And doing really well there's lane 5, Mika Harbour. She's got the early lead. Also looking good, Casey Chua in the outside lane 1. So it's Harbour, first to the wall, then Lucy Ma. About half a second difference at the 50-metre mark. Third through Pettigrew, then Chua. Cooper up there, Bailey as well. And we expect to see some changes of position and some really strong pushes in the backstroke and especially the breaststroke.
We saw Lucy Ma this morning very strong in that backstroke leg, so we'll see if she can pull through as we come into that backstroke now at this turn. So Harbour leading us through in that 107.37. Lucy Ma in that second position, 108.42, and Pettigrew out of lane number 2, 109.03. As these ladies settle into that backstroke now, you can see Ma trying to make her move. She's probably got a higher stroke rate over Harbour right next to her in 5, and she's really powering through in this backstroke. Has a beautiful position in the water, nice high legs, and really good drive through that backstroke stroke.
She does have a slightly higher rating, and if anything, Harbour's just tried to match her in the back section of that first 50, but Lucy Ma doesn't look like she's over-swimming at all. She looks very, very comfortable. So Mika Harbour doing what she can to hold on, but this is a very strong 100 backstroke, and exactly as you predicted, Emily. Also looking good, Venner out in lane 3. She's having a nice battle with Pettigrew and Chua, so lanes 1, 2 and 3 almost swimming in formation. Cooper and Bailey trying to fight it out for that third position as well. So first and second right out in front, but a line across the pool for third. Ma turns first at the halfway mark, about 2.5 seconds ahead of Harbour, and now into the breaststroke. Let's see if some big moves can be made.
Yeah, Lucy Ma looking really solid here, and like we saw this morning on that backstroke leg, making it her own, outsplitting the rest of the field there and moving through nicely. It's an event you've got to trust yourself and back yourself and your race plan. And you've got to go at the right time, because if you go too early, it's very fatiguing, especially having to change all these strokes, using all these different muscle groups. But Lucy Ma doing a really good job of managing all this and moving forward. And it'd be easy to get excited when you get to this point of a race. See yourself in front and see some open water in front of you. Potentially overrate, but she's, again, a very mature swimmer for a 14-year-old, and doing such a good job moving forward. And Mika Harbour not going anywhere, still holding on to that second position. The battle for third is definitely heating up, though. A few girls in contention for that bronze medal. But right now, it's all Lucy Ma. Come down to the final 15 metres of this breaststroke. She will be moving forward. And like you said last night, Matt, if you can flip from breaststroke to freestyle while your competitors are doing breaststroke, it's a huge advantage.
Yeah, it really is. She was so far ahead there. We actually lost her under the graphic as that gap is extended out to just over 5 seconds. So about 5.5 second gap between Lucy and Mika. And that is what you call a very strong and dominant breaststroke, but she did it in the backstroke as well. She was about 3 seconds quicker in the backstroke. She was about a second and a bit quicker in the breaststroke. So I think the backstroke is what really got it for her. And now into the freestyle. It's really just a battle for third. So Lucy Ma well out in front. Mika Harbour in for second. But the battle for third is absolutely on. Weston is holding third at the moment, but Venner wants it. There's only 0.1 of a second between them with 50 metres to go. I wonder if they know they're in contention for a medal. Venner for a visitor's medal. And Weston will get the Australian, but with 5 metres to go, it was a very dominant swim from Lucy Ma as she touches the wall under 5 minutes. 4:58.78. Ma touches the wall. Second in the wall will be Harbour in a 5:07.39. Third to the wall, Weston. She outright gets that third place. And Venner in for fourth. Cooper in for fifth. She had a great swim. Chua sixth. Pettigrew seventh. Eighth to the wall was Bailey, followed by Dimitri Du-Pierce. And then Katie Hawkins out in lane 0. But Lucy Ma, the swimmer of the moment, takes out yet another Australian championship in a brilliant time underneath 5 minutes.
She sort of held back a little bit in that butterfly, but that backstroke, she dominated. The breaststroke, she was able to maintain, and that freestyle, she powered through to that first position. She'll get the gold medal in that 4:58.78. So a fantastic job to be under that 5-minute barrier in the 400 IM. Harbour with the silver and Weston with the bronze. As we move along to the next event on the program, this is your boys 13 to 14 years, 200 individual medley. We start with our 13-year-old boys, our youngest age group here at the championships. We see Sunny Quito, the winner of the 400 individual medley from lane number 6.
Chris Song, he's been swimming really well this week.
It was all very tight this morning. Not much in it between the first 3 competitors. 2:18.97 for Porter, a 2:19.02 for Borg, and a 2:19.07 for Bastow there. So really, not much in it at all.
The 200 individual medley, obviously half as much as the 400, but because of that difference in distance, it becomes a little bit more sprinty. You're only doing 50 of each. They can really go out after it. It's a bit of a pacing game, the 400. This is a little bit more outright speed. So expect them to get out fast and to try and hold it.
Take your marks.
4 laps of each stroke ahead of these 13-year-old boys. And out strong was Hunter Bastow in lane 3. He's going to bring with him Chris Song, who's had a great week this week and got another chance to show his strength. Theo Porter now starting to come back into it, though. And Jed Borg doing everything he can to hold on as well. But it will be Hunter Bastow. He turns him through first at 28.58. Second was Porter and then Borg. Chris Song in for fourth. And then Sheng out in lane 7. Now into the backstroke. And just trying to keep themselves moving. Keep that rating up to give themselves an advantage going into the breaststroke already. So almost halfway through the race. You can see why they need to push it hard and keep the intensity high.
Looking good into that turn now. Borg out in front from lane 5 in that 1:03.54. Bastow there in that second position, 1:03.85. And Porter 1:04.46 as we move into that breaststroke leg now. There's some moves being made here. Sunny Quito in 6, looking very strong as he powers through this breaststroke. But is it enough to catch Borg in 5? And Porter in 4, very strong. Still holding on strong is Basto in 3 as they come down to that final turn into that freestyle leg.
Keto and Porter absolutely going for it. So we're looking at Sonny Keto's in second, Theo Porter's in first. And we think potentially Keto's goggles have come down around his neck. So the fact that he's fighting right up the front is absolutely extraordinary. Hunter Bastow in for third. So coming down, Sonny Keto is absolutely ripping it. Without the goggles, he seems to be able to see clearly and head down to the wall.
And he does it.
He does know the goggles weren't there, so he absolutely just nailed it. So 2:14.87. Amazing swim there for Sonny Keto. 2:14.87 to win. Theo Porter in for second, 2:15.59. Third through was Hunter Bastow, 2:15.64. Wheeler in for fourth, Song in for fifth.
Sonny Keto is known as the longest celebration in history after the 400 IM and just as long tonight in that 200 IM, and so very deserved as he takes out another age championship in that 200 medley, that 2:14.87, powered through in the breaststroke and was able to extend ever so slightly in that freestyle. Porter will take the silver in that 2:15.59. So with the bronze in that 2:15.64. What a swim. Absolute almost domination in the breaststroke and that freestyle because he turned fit.
It was the freestyle.
He turned fit.
Oh, the screen has just gone off. I want to see his freestyle split in that. But
he turned fit at the 100-metre mark.
He dropped some significant time.
It was fantastic. As we welcome along the 14-year-olds now to do the exact same thing in this 200 IM.
But better.
That's right, faster.
Got to be faster. So Ishak Ismail, he has been brilliant this week. He has just killed it. The 14-year-old from Surrey Park in Victoria, 2:12.10. He's been so strong. That was his time for this morning. Thomas Penny, Sydney University. He's had a great week. And Jacob Deere, our second qualifier this morning.
He was very strong this morning, Jacob Deere, so looking to him to really prove something here in this 200 medley. Our visitor, Penny, has been extremely strong. I think watch out for lane number 8 with O and Anderson in 6, but a very stacked field here in the 14-year-olds 200 individual medley.
Take your marks.
Underway for the 4-lap sprint of all 4 strokes. Beautifully underwater was Ishak Ismail, our fastest qualifier in lane 4. Look at the lead he has produced from those butterfly kicks. Very high butterfly. He lifts himself up a long way, but he clearly moves himself forward as well. Jacob Deere right next to him, doing a great job to stay. But it is Ismail. He touches first to 26.84, then Deere. Penny in for third. And then Lachlan Bull out in lane 9. Not letting the outside lane holding back, a 28.36. Ismail now in for the backstroke. And he's got a great-looking backstroke. Thomas Penny, getting really caught on the lane ropes there. He hit that lane rope hard, Thomas Penny, and it almost stopped him in his tracks. So we've seen a few people get close, but that was a full hit. Ishak Ismail takes them through under the minute mark, 59.58, into the breaststroke. And you noticed that hit too, MC-Bomb. Do you think that would have impacted Thomas?
Penny was really moving well in the final 25 metres of that backstroke, and I thought he was almost going to take over the lead over Ismail there. but he hit that lane rope. He almost stopped in his tracks, but look at him now in that breaststroke. Also doing great in that breaststroke is Jacob Deere in 5, really extending, trying to reach those top 2 boys as he does take that turn first in that 1:38.83 in front of Penny and Ishmael in that 3rd position as the battle comes now in the freestyle. They are powering through with 25 meters left to swim. The battle is on here. Deere, Ishmael, Penny fighting it out for that gold. Penny has fallen off the front pack here as Deere is taking the lead and holding on to it as he comes down under the flags. Now he will win this one. Jacob Deere in a 2:08.54. Ishmael is second back in that 2:09.54. And Penny takes the bronze in that 2:12.31. Anderson will get a bronze as Penny is our visitor. So Levi Anderson with the bronze in 2:12.83. What a swim from Jacob Deere. He only moved in that breaststroke, was able to take over that lead on that last turn and smash that freestyle. Unbelievable.
Well, he did. He got 3 seconds on Ishmael in the breaststroke, so he gained 3 seconds there, and he was the only swimmer in the last 50 to be sub 30. He just had a smoother freestyle as well. His freestyle looked really nice and even, whereas Ishak Ismail just looked a little bit choppy through his freestyle. He looked very fatigued from earlier.
He did. He actually shortened up quite a lot under the flags. It was almost that moment of keep going, you can get there, but you could tell his legs weren't working anymore. So Ishmael takes the silver, but what a swim.
3
from
seconds
Jacob
in
Deere.
one lap.
He ended up beating him by a second. It was incredible to watch as we move along to the next event on the program. And we're joined back in the booth by Will Rollo. Welcome, Will. What have you been excited to watch tonight already?
Well, I can't get past Sonny Keto and his celebration after that 200 IM. To take the 4 and the 2, I tell you what, he's up and about as he deserves to be. 2 Australian titles headed his way, and I think he's got a bright future ahead of him.
Definitely a name to remember as we move along now. This is your girls' 15 years 100-metre freestyle. That Australian record sits at a 53.30, so a cracking 100-metre freestyle time back from the Olympics. As we have a look at our field, Kobus was our fastest qualifier this morning in a 57.48. 3 of those girls sitting very close together in that 57 mid-range, so not much in it.
Yeah, only roughly a second across the field. It's going to be very, very tight. And we know that just because you turn first at the halfway, it doesn't mean you've got the best chance for victory. It's how you get out there. So keep an eye on everyone for late charges for everything. It's only 2 laps of the freestyle, but anything can happen.
Take your marks.
So the 15-year-old girls hit the water for their 100 freestyle final. What a turn. Also, what a start, in fact, out of lane 5. That was Benito. And now moving through, we can see the middle of the pool panning across. No one really separating themselves, which is what we expected off paper as we come to the first turn.
Yeah, Kobus and Bernardo pushing really hard at this early part of the race. It'll be Kobus who turns first to 27.47, about a tenth ahead of Bernardo. 3rd through Lima, 4th through Kumanzoli, and then Kira Jeffs in 5th from Nunawading. But it is Kobus. She's keep looking across. They're both breathing to the left. It's advantage Annika Kobus because she can see exactly what her opposition is doing. And with a very strong last 25, she's going to love this last 5 metres. Get to the wall and take your title. 56.36 for Annika Kobus. It was pretty close in the end there. Mina Bettina Bernardo, 56.53, and Delinda Thompson, 57.53. So a great swim there from the field. Kira Jeffs in for 4th. Kamanzuli in for 5th. Lima 6th. then Groves, Hogan, Wall and Chia. But Kobus, oh, that extra stroke she took onto the wall. I missed that from this angle. Took that extra stroke. That's why you were jumping off your chair, MC-Bomb.
Yeah, it turned out to be pretty close there on in that last stroke onto the wall, and I saw it as it was coming down, and I couldn't believe it, but she will take home the gold. Kobus there in that 56.36. A great swim from those girls in that 100 freestyles. We move now. This is your 15-year-olds B final. We'll see what these girls can produce. Obviously, that 56.36, that top marker in that A final. How close can they get to that in this B final?
A 58.6 would have got them into the A final, so just something to keep in mind when we look at these times.
Your marks.
So a B final hits the water for the 15 years age 100 freestyle. So we sit in the middle of the pool. You can see another strong start coming out of lane 5 of Fong Sutton. This time Bendigo East, inspired by some spectacular performances. The difference maker in that A final was the momentum through the wall, and Fong Sutton certainly lifting through the turn.
Yeah, Asia Fong Sutton with a great underwater breakout to take them through in the first 50, a 27.88 in this 15-year-old B final. Second through Wyeth, third through Van de Ventner. And now coming down, she's just maintaining that lead. I tell you, the real battle here is for second. It is a line across the pool. Morgan's probably with the best of it at the moment and coming right up alongside. In fact, she's getting a sniff of getting in front of Fong Sutton, but she does get there by 3/100ths of a second. She somehow stretched out and got that in the last metre, if not less. So Charlotte Morgans gets to the wall first. Somehow I need to see an action replay of that to work out how she did it. But Asia Fong Sutton relegated to second in that B final. And the results are final. So some very close racing. And as we said, a 58.6 would have got through to that A. And both the top swimmers getting underneath that mark. So those times so important to be swum in the morning. And they really paint a picture of what the girls are going after. So now we move into the 16 years A final. Maya Zunker, Eloise Sheldrick, Anahira McCutcheon, Macy Sheridan.
McClellan's been very strong.
Yeah.
Lots of racing. She does those long distance races as well, up to that 400. So she'll be hard to beat. McCutcheon is strong in those 50s, so she's quite the sprinter.
Only 5/100ths of a second separating the top two. So expect fireworks there. And only about 2/10 back to third and fourth. It's going to be very, very tight here in this A final. So championship up for grabs.
You can see the battle of Eloise in 3 and 4. Sheldrick swimming from 3. She's already been on the dais at this championships and looking to get back on it. This 16-year age group has been so fruitful for us at this year's championships. Really impressive across almost every event, and the 100 freestyle proves much more of the same. A great talent ground, this 16 years age group, as they get ready for the 100 freestyle.
Take your marks.
So we're in the water and underway here. 100 freestyle separates these athletes, and a gold medal, a national title, 56.34. The fastest through, only 0.05 separating our first two. And we can see that playing out as we go through the first 35 metres. Here comes Zunker in lane 4. She's making her mark as they go to the turn.
She really is. Zunker and McCutcheon, absolutely nothing in it at the 25-metre mark. But Zunker touches first. Jessica Mello out in lane 9. She's come from nowhere, just a bit out of the picture. There she is at the bottom of your screen. So Zunker, Mello, McCutcheon, Sheldrick, Sheridan's in there. But I think it will be the centre lane. So Zunker and McCutcheon now. Sheldrick coming through. It's going to be between Zunker and Sheldrick. I think Maya Zunker is going to get there. She does by about a third of a second to Eloise Sheldrick. Third through was McCutcheon. And our fourth place was Eloise McClellan. So there's your medal winners, first, second and third. So Zunker in for first, Eloise Sheldrick for second. McCutcheon as visitor will get a third, and then Eloise McClellan will get the bronze for the Aussie. So a great swim in the 16 years, 100 metres freestyle. And the qualifying time there for the 16 years, a 55.97. So Maya Zunker getting underneath that time.
So she will take home the gold in a 55.71. Sheldrick will take the silver, 56.03. McCutcheon bronze, our visitor from Fiji, 56.05. And Eloise McClellan will take home a bronze as well. Fantastic swim for those ladies. As we move now in the 16-year-olds B final. Northdorfer, your fastest qualifier in lane number 4.
Everyone wanting a front row seat for this evening's final.
Take your marks.
The B finalists hit the water. This is the 16 years girls 100 freestyle. Once again, sitting in the middle of the pool, we can see our leading athlete. Looks to be Northdorfer. But it's hard to tell as they move down now. 35 metres from, and the field all wanting to get their feet on the wall first.
Sienna Gibson with a really nice start here. She's coming down. Looks like she's going to lead them through. She does in a 27.95. Second through was Liliana Jones. And then Northdorfer in for third. Then we had a potential tie for fifth. That's how close the margins in. No, it was a tie for third. So Jaslyn Blummer down the bottom of the screen. Very, very close. Also looking good. Summer Johnson up in lane 1. She's right in there, the mix. But I think Sienna Gibson is going to get to the wall first. So 57.47 will take out our B final for the 16-year-olds. Second on the wall, Jones. Then Northdorfer. O'Hara.
A great job for Sienna Gibson there to take out that B final 57.47. As those ladies exit the pool now, we'll have a look at the next event coming up as they start to put that backstroke wedge in. It is your boys 15 to 16 years, 200 metre backstroke. Coming up right now are 15-year-olds in that A final. A tight battle here. Snyder's in 4, Cole in 3. Coulson looked very strong this morning in 5, but don't count out some of these swimmers in those outside lanes. Whelm has been very strong. Ison has been strong. Labara and Kraus. So a very tight field.
That's right, and it's going to come all the way down to the final lap, you'd expect. And it's what's been telling this evening through the medley and through those 100 freestyles, those turns, the 10 metres in, the 5 metres out. We talked to Alex this morning. Absolutely essential for just maintaining momentum and ultimately being the difference maker.
That's it. That's what it comes down to sometimes, is those skills. They are super important, especially because there is 3 turns here. So they could make or break 0.5 on every single turn. So trying to get them the best they can in tonight's final. An easy way to make up some time without hurting yourself more. So it saves your legs and your arms for the racing. Just tighten up those turns. But we'll see where the tactics lie here in this 200 backstroke as the boys are about to jump in the water. We're in a backstroke, a hard event, but a tactical event.
So sitting here, Kepler Schneider's locked in on the task at hand.
Take your marks.
Underway, all the tactics used on the start line. What a start out of lane 2 for Bryce Krause. We'll get to that shortly. Sitting on your screen, you can see Schneiders and Paulsen, but just coming into shot now, you can see Bryce Krause absolutely flying off the blocks.
We know he is a sprinter. He's had a great 50 and an even better 100. So we'll see what he can produce in this 200. He is going to lead them through in that 28.98. Schneider's in that second position, 29.48. And Whelm third through in that 29.60. So we'll see if he can hold on to this pace. He's certainly taking it out hard, which we like to see someone really put themselves on the line here. But those boys in the middle lanes now. So Schneider's in 4, Paulsen in 5, almost taking over that lead into that 100-metre mark. So let's see as they turn through. It is Schneider's in 4, taking over that lead, 00.62. Paulsen in that 101.28. And Krause now in that third position at 101.80. So whether he just let go of that second 50 to hold on for this final 100, or whether the boys in the middle of the pool have more in that tank, we'll see as we come down to that last turn. Snyder's looking very strong out in that middle lane, in lane number 4. He's powering through, a body length on the field now as he takes that last turn. Paulsen still holding on in that second position. Labara now coming through in lane 6.
Andre Labara not choosing to race the 1500 freestyle in preparation for this jointed backstroke final with 25 metres to swim. He's the biggest mover in the field. He's pulling up. He's coming in fast. Schneider's just trying to hold him off. Paulsen going with him, but with 10 to go, Andre Labara has not hit the lead for the entire swim, and it will stay that way. Schneider's holds out. 2:04.78. Andre Labara coming home in a 30.64, but it won't be enough to stop that man on the screen. Kepler Schneiders was so brave. He committed to that race in the opening 100, and he stuck fat through the end, and he is a very deserving gold medalist. If we watch it back here, you can see turning through, the skills were on show, but just having to fight so hard all the way to the final stroke. And Andre Labara, if it was half a metre longer, could have been a different result.
He back-ended that second 100. Labara came home strong in that 30.64, but wasn't enough to take it away from Snyders. Snyders will take the gold medal, and Labara will settle for the silver as Paulsen gets the bronze. That 2:04.78, that top time. What a swim that was. I was on the edge of my seat watching that to see if Labara could take that lead, and it was awfully close.
So there's plenty of action happening here in the pool, and there's plenty more to come watching on Nine's Wide World of Sports. Don't go anywhere as we head to this break. Thanks for joining us once again for the extended coverage of the 2026 Australian Age Championships here on the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre. It's been a fantastic night thus far, and the action certainly far from over. You're watching on Nine's Wide World of Sports. Will Rollo joined once again by Emily Seabolt and Alex Graham in the commentary booth. And then we keep the party going as we move to the boys' 16 years 200 backstroke.
We had an absolutely cracking final in the 15-year-olds, and I expect nothing different now from the 16-year-olds A final. Van Leeuwen, super strong this morning. Didn't let up at all, where Isaac Allen in 5 let go of that last 50 to just cruise to that wall. So we'll see the battle between these two boys tonight. Van Leeuwen was a 2:05.88 this morning, where Allen was a 2:06.72. Luke Lee was also very strong this morning and sits himself into that lane 3 spot. So there was Isaac Allen. Here is your fastest qualifier on your screen right now. There's Daniel Van Leeuwen from Nudgee College. Luke Lee in lane 3, very strong from Carlisle. And we'll see what times these boys can produce here. I'd love to see if someone could break that 2-minute barrier. That would be fantastic to see from these 16-year-olds. That 16-year-old Australian record, a 1:57.78 from Joshua Edwards-Smith. We'll see what these boys can do as they're about to jump in the water for the 200 backstroke.
I think if we get one under, we may get multiple. This is going to be incredibly close between the athletes. We've seen some different tactics being shown out thus far. What do our 16-year-olds have in store for us?
Take your marks.
So athletes hit the water here. The 16 years A final 200 backstroke. Great start again out of lane 3. That's Luke Lee. Just sitting above the top of your screen. We're currently sitting with shipsides of lane 7 and Jager out in lane 6. Here we have lane 5 now. Isaac Allen starting to make himself impose himself on the field for Emmanuel, and he'll take a half a body length lead through the turn.
Yeah, looking really good here. Isaac Allen just jumped off the start there, really rocketed off the wall. And he's working those underwaters nicely, settling into his rhythm. Nice long arms and long strokes, perfect for a backstroker. And he's showing us all how it's done in this 200 back as he moves almost a body length now in front of Daniel Van Leeuwen in lane 4. But Van Leeuwen starting to come back a little bit just as I say that, and they head under the flags for this halfway point of the 200.
So look at the clock there, 59.9 on the turn, 1:00.05. And we want a really fast time tonight. How's the pacing looking?
59.94, looking very good. It will be tight to come back in that minute barrier to get that sub 2-minute mark. But Isaac Allen doing a great job of this. Daniel Van Leeuwen, though, not letting him go away. I love that. He's really chasing after him. Allen's led from the start here as he comes down to that last turn. Now we'll see who's got more left in the tank. We saw a great effort in that final before where someone just had an excessive amount of energy left on that last 50. But here we go. Here's the battle. Allen trying to hold on, Van Leeuwen trying to take it, and Lee sitting in that 3rd position.
They are lockstep as they come through the final stages. Van Leeuwen and Allen lifting. Van Leeuwen coming out of lane 4, but he's going to run out of space. 2:03.13. Isaac Allen holds on for the victory. Emmanuel rejoice. Spectators galore. A very happy man with a very big flex. What a swim from Isaac Allen. He was pushed all the way to the end, but no one could take away what belongs now to the South Australian.
It was really Van Leeuwen on that first 50 and that 3rd 50. That's where that race was won by Isaac Allen there. He takes out that gold medal in that 2:03.13. Van Leeuwen trying to catch him in the final meters, but wasn't enough. He sits in a silver medal in that 2:03.58. Ship sides, gets the bronze over Luke Lee in that 2:05.99. Great swims from those boys in the 16-year-olds. 200-meter backstroke. Tidy time, very good swim, very good pacing from Isaac Allen. All 31s apart from that first 50. Obviously, that first 50 is definitely always the quickest, but was able to maintain that pace. So fantastic to see as we move along to the next event on the program.
Yes, the 200 freestyle up next. So
Good event, that one.
yeah, we moved from one of your best, M, to one of yours, Alex.
Absolutely, I'm excited for this. Always got a soft spot for the 200, even though it caused me a lot of pain over the years. Heaps of lactate.
So what would you say the main difference is here? What's a successful 200 freestyle look like?
You're going to have to get out fast and get out after it, especially in that first 100. You want to set your race up from the get-go, get off the blocks, set up a nice, comfortable speed through that first 50. And the race is going to be won in the middle 50, I'd say. Middle 100, sorry. For those middle 2 laps, you want to make a move and start to move through that last 75 metres before the 150 wall. Just really getting into it, working those turns, just see what you got on the way home. It's going to be about holding on.
So the fastest through this morning, Lily McPherson, absolutely electric off the blocks and really extenuated that through the first 100. So she represents Manly out of lane 4, and I think the key for the field is just making sure that they're within a body length, at the end of the first 100.
.201.5 from this morning from McPherson.
Take your marks.
So they hit that water and start the 4-lap race, the 200 freestyle, as they make their way through the first 25 meters. We can see McPherson already starting to pull away from the field, using that speed, but using that rate early on. And she will lead us at the 50-meter mark.
Yeah, jumped off the blocks very well there, McPherson. Great momentum into that wall, which is exactly what you're looking for. You want to take that speed that you've set up on your first lap, really nail that first turn and set up the race. And this middle 100 is where you get down and dirty and do the work. And she's doing just that. Rolling through. She's got about a body length now on Jodie Mead and Alexandra Sharp out in lane 3, but it is McPherson who's rating up high. She's going to go through the first 100 pretty swift here in a 57.49. Now, she was 201 this morning in the heats. I dare say she'll be trying to aim for that sub-2-minute swim, the elusive sub-2-minute swim that you want in these 200 metres. And she's looking very good. She's got a body length now on Jodie Mead. Aisha Ring next to Mead as well, putting in a pretty tidy race. That battle for third is on. It is red hot. But McPherson, a body length in front now, and she will look to come home very swiftly as she turns a 128.38 with a 30 split. So we're going to see a very tidy time here if she can hold on to this split here. She comes home in a 30. She'll be well and truly under that 2-minute mark. She is making this race her own, leaving no stone unturned.
She's coming home super strong. McPherson there in for powering through the 15 metres left to go. She's extended on that lead, and the battle is in that second, third position with Mead and Ring. As McPherson touches the wall, she touches in a 1:59.33. Ring gets to the wall second in a 2:01.55, and Mead third to the wall in that 2:01.75. Lily McPherson breaks the 2-minute barrier in that 200 freestyle. What a swim that was.
You see that head throw back at the end of the race. That's a swim that means a lot to McPherson. That's clearly one that she's been working on, and it's so great. As we watch back at how it was swum, we said that the field needed to be within a body length at the 100, but the body length just then grew through the next 100, and McPherson a dominant win. And how's that reaction?
Absolutely. It really takes you back to when there was a barrier there and you'd look to the board and you'd see that you'd broken the time that you wanted to do. And that 2-minute barrier is a great one for that women's 200-metre freestyle. So to get under that, it's a fantastic time. To do it at 17 years is even more fantastic. So full credit there to Lily McPherson. Put together a fantastic swim, really got out after it, showed a lot of courage to take that race out hard. And she just did the work in that middle there and set it up.
And you could really hear, too, on pool deck, her coaches and her club mates really cheering as she broke that 2-minute mark. So it was fantastic to hear that. As we head into another 200 freestyle, this is your 18-year-olds A final. Piper Asquith of TSS, your fastest qualifier in lane 4.
I know the pool deck will be cheering pretty loud for Piper, of course. Working here at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre. It's been great to have the support of the centre, but anytime Piper's in the pool, they are fixed in on watching their colleague take to the water. Here she is on screen now, ready and raring. You can hear the lifeguards going off.
It's just loud at the moment. We're in the loud house. We're in the thick of it. The crowd is pumping. We've got some relays later tonight, so we're extra full here at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre. The vibes are high, and the swimming is fast.
The challenge here for the 18-year-olds, can they beat the time from Lily McPherson? 1:59 the mark. Lily McPherson absolutely crushed the Junior Pan Pacs qualifying time as well, so she'll put her hand up for selection later this year. Let's see if there's an 18-year-old that can join them on the team.
Take your marks.
And they are underway for the 4-lap 50 freestyle battle. The 200 metres in the water. McPherson, 1:59 in the heat prior. What do we have from Asquith, who now leads from lane 4 for TSS Aquatic? Madison Jones on her flank. On the other side, Helen Smith of Highlanders. Those will be near the top 3. Asquith will lead at the turn.
Yeah, just like we saw in the 17s final, the middle of the pool is where the action is. And Piper Asquith doing a great job so far, 28.41. The sole swimmer under that 29 mark in that first 50. But flanked by Smith and Jones doing great jobs there. It's a very tight bunch. And Madison Jones trying to take it up to Piper Asquith as she moves further ahead. And she's putting together a pretty tidy swim here in the first 100 metres, as she'll hit the wall in a 58.71. Madison Jones moving up to that second place position, trying to get on that wash that Piper Asquith is creating as they're moving forward. This is the hardest 50 of the 200. This is where all the work gets done. And she's moving through very nicely, Piper Asquith. She's got about a body length on the rest of the field now. Her stroke rate is up. It's looking smooth. It hasn't dropped off at all. She's looking comfortable, not bouncing too much. As she's going to take this momentum from the third 50 and see what she's got coming home. Madison Jones turning for home in second. What has she got as well? And Rafaela Capello rounding out the top 3. The battle is on for those minor places, but Piper Asquith is putting together a fantastic swim here in the 18 years final.
Going to take almost a miracle to come over the top of Asquith. She's holding that lead, and it's not going to be caught. As we say that, Jones and Capello creeping up, but I have it in good mail that this could be the renaming of the Aquatic Centre as Piper Asquith comes down to stop the clock. 2:02.90. Jones gets in second, and Helen Smith storming home on that final 50 for the Highlanders to round out the top 3. But Piper Asquith gets the gold in her home pool, well, at least where she works pool. And we have it on good mail. The lifeguards unofficially naming the pool the Piper Asquith Aquatic Centre as she joins her team in rejoicing in another national title.
Very good swim, led from the front. Two courageous, I should say, swims there from the girls in both the 17 years and 18 years, taking it out from the get-go, pacing it really well. Asquith maybe fading towards the end there. Madison Jones doing a really good job there as well to get into that silver medal position, just biding her time, pacing that really well. out of Miami.
That's a great 200 freestyle. Both events proving so much for our 17, 18 years. The 18 years, the last time they'll race that at the National Age Championships, and they can leave with their heads held high. Similarly, we'll do the same for the 18 years boys. Up after this event, the 17, 18 years 100 breaststroke hits the pool deck. 17 years A final now, ready to race. Alex Well is swimming out of lane 9 for Lawrence. As we look through the field, this is going to be incredibly tight.
Yeah, a lot of good swims this morning. Got the visitor in lane 4, Regan Cheng, and Aaron Ang from Singapore in lane 3 as well. Love for the boys to get amongst the action here. Throw down a pretty solid time. The Junior Pan Pac qualifying times are 102.66. Love to see a few of the lads under that.
Well, we've seen a 14-year-old go 103.8 on day 2 of the competition. Obviously swimming at a very good program. Some would say even great. Camilla Grammer, of course, producing some great breaststrokers through this meet. Some great swims through this meet. But they'll have the opportunity ahead of them here for these athletes to put their best foot forward, as you said, Alex, for that junior team consideration. 102.66 the time to beat. Cheng was the fastest through this morning. 103.89. He's earned that right of lane 4, but he will not have it his own way.
Take your marks.
In the water they head now as we get into this 17 years final. Cheng in 4 in the middle of your screen in that fluorescent orange. Next to him, Allgate in 5, also in the fluorescent orange. As we go through now 25 meters swum, you can sit with Cheng, and he's doing a fantastic job to lead this race.
Yeah, he's looking very solid and composed, is Cheng. And he's going to get half a body length on the field here. But also out there, Charlie Cook doing a great job. Aaron Ang from Singapore touching on the wall there. But Regan Cheng, 29.53, under that 30-second barrier. We've got a tie for third. So the race is on for the medals as the field starts to bunch up. But Regan Cheng getting about a body length now in the rest of the field. He's stroking well, doing it very easy by the looks of it. But we know it's not easy because he is sprinting, and he will get to the wall last 5 meters. And it's going to be Cheng, but for the minors, it is on as well. It will be Jacob Allgate gets to the wall in that second place. He'll be first Australian there in that 103.64. Regan Cheng with that 102.25, and Aaron Ang rounding out the medals, 103.87.
Under that Junior Pan Pac's qualifying time, so he's put his hand up for consideration here. 102.55, an impressive swim out, 29.5, and then back with an impressive 33.0. So it was a good result to take the win. The gold medal headed his way, but as you called there, the national title going to Allgate. That's why they were very chummy in the water, both of them heading home with gold.
Yeah, that time underneath the Junior Pan Pac's qualifying time, but he's marked as a visitor there, so I'm not sure if he's eligible. But we'll leave that for the selectors as we go now into the 17 years B final. So another chance to get up and race. It was a little unique in that previous race, a three-way tie for third at the halfway mark. And if you wanted proof that they're racing tight and tough, that's it.
Take your marks.
So our B finalists in the 17 years boys hit the water, and we can see right now lane 4 on your screen. That's Wheeler, the New Zealander. Unlucky to miss out on the final. He was 105.2 this morning. Would have got him a place, but he's racing as a visitor, so he has to swim from the B final. He's not having it his own way. In fact, Brownlee in lane 6 should hit the wall first.
Yeah, William Brownlee looking really strong in this B final. He splits under 30 seconds, a 29.79. Second through was Wheeler, and then Cheeseman, then Pollitt. So the back half of this race is so important, but if he gets a head start, it's a huge advantage It looks like it's going to be between Wheeler and Brownlee. Wheeler coming right up alongside. The two of them stroke for stroke. Maybe the momentum a little bit on Wheeler's side now. So our swimmer from New Zealand just pushing in front in this B final. And with 5 metres to swim, I think he's got it sewn up as the rest of the field just fade away. So Wheeler in for second. James Kelso with a fantastic second 50. With a 34.8 to come back in second. Then Hancock, then Brownlee. So results for your B final, now final. As we move into the all-important A final for the 18-year-olds.
Another solid B final delivering here. But as you said, Matt, we are heading the 18 years way as we get ready to welcome them out. We've seen it throughout the competition, but we see it once again here. St. Andrews in 4 and 5. Those teammates really keep you company at training and push you for a better performance. Both Sutherland and Skipper would have eyes on that 102.5 mark that was set to win the 17 years, hoping to dip below. In Australia, as soon as you can get to the 101 mid, you start becoming a very, very much highly touted prospect.
Yeah, we are pretty deep in the breaststroke at the moment. We've got a few 101s, double O's. Sam Williamson leading the way with a 58 to his name.
Bailey Lello right in the mix. He had a great Australian Open.
So we've got a few moving through and good opportunity for these lads to put their hand up as well. Being the top age at the moment, opens next year.
That's it. They want to make sure that they finish their age campaign in fantastic fashion. Grayson Doig started out on lane 0. We'll see what he has to represent for Trinity Grammar. Rounding out the field, of course, this is the 18 years 100 breaststroke final. So we head into the water now, the battle of the 100-metre breaststroke. Sutherland in 4 at the top of your screen and moving through. We sit with him now, so strong through that breaststroke, really focusing on that in-sweep. He's not having it his own way, though. 35 metres swum, you can see the battle coming on the far side.
Yeah, he's doing a great job out in front. And going with him is Jacob Story there in lane 3. Sutherland goes first, then Story, then Skipper. Jack Mercer in for 4th, so really tight across the field. Ethan Cook wanting a bit of the action too in 5th. So middle of the field, plenty of speed. Now down to the second 50, and it's Story that's coming back at him. That is the story here in the 18 years, 100 metres of breaststroke. Very dynamic out, Thomas Sutherland, but now stroke for stroke with Jacob Story. Coming down to touch, and it will be Story at 101.70. That is a great swim in the 100 metres breaststroke. Thomas Sutherland in for second with a 102.16. So your winner in lane 3, then 4. Flynn Skipper in lane 5 for 3rd. Ethan Cook in for 4th. And then Jack Mercer. So Thomas Sutherland will take the first Australian with Jacob Story, our visitor. He's a visitor from the Cook Islands Club.
Potentially Commonwealth Games coming up, depending on their qualification systems.
101.7, that's right around that World Aquatics speed time qualification standard. So if he can drop a little bit faster through the coming weeks, I'm sure he'll be right there representing his home country with pride. 101.7, that is a nice swim. That should get him right there. A B final or a semi-final, should I say, at Commonwealth Games in the 100.
Yeah. Not really sure about the breaststrokes. Don't need to focus on one thing. But
it's funny, isn't it, when you do focus so much? Obviously, freestyle. I was backstroke. It's a big learning curve, sort of seeing what the boys do, and girls for that matter, as we move into the 200 metres backstroke. 13 and 14-year-olds, just the A finals in this. And some familiar names coming through. Mia Hu, Ivy Gratzik, Harper Mulcahy here in lane 5. She'll be presented very soon. We saw her earlier in the 400 metres individual medley, so she's representing Carla along with the fastest qualifier, Mia Hu. So here's Harper Mulcahy, straight out of the cool-down pool from her 400 IM. So we'll see how she recovers, responds in this 4-lap of backstroke. Great little cheerio to the crowd. The Australian record holder for the 13 years. No surprise, Kayla McEwen. But a little bit surprised with the time, a 2-minute 12.04, set back in 2015. It is Kayla McEwen, so we expect to see dominant times, but that is a very quick time for our 13-year-olds. Fastest qualifier this morning, Mia Hu, a good 13 seconds off that at 2:25. She will go faster tonight, but that's a bit of a mark to go after.
I wonder if that'll be a record like we see with Thorpe's or Tracy Wickham's got a record in there from the 70s.
Until we see the next amazing backstroker come through, yes, I think it's going to stay there for a while.
Take your marks.
So the 13-year-olds have their shot at glory here for the second time this evening. A tough old double, the 400 IM into the 200 backstroke, but making it look very easy is Harper Mulcahy out of lane 5, the closest of the yellow lanes in the middle of the pool. Representing that yellow cap as well is Harper Mulcahy. So as we work our way through this opening lap, we can see the lead starting to change. Moving through Mia Hu in 4, Velichovsky in lane 2. They should be the top 3 through the first 50. No, in fact, Emmanuel again being tricked by that lane 9. She hits the lead at the first turn.
Yeah, Debbie Mamiel down in lane 9, a 33.55 to take them through. I'm really impressed with Harper Mulcahy. We've just said she had the 400 IM, but she's really going out after it. But Mia Hu with this lead.
Yeah, she's doing a great job. Mia Hu, their training partner next to her as well. But Ivy Grashik in lane number 3, doing a fantastic job from the Brisbane Jets. Similar looking cap to Carlisle squad. Mia Hu turning around to 109.3. Rating up nicely, not letting it drop off just yet. Moving towards that lane rub, just trying to keep him to the centre of the pool. Not bounce around too much in between the lanes, but legs are up, hips are up, not over kicking either. Just getting a little bit of a further gap here, Mia Hu. So that third 50 proving to be the difference maker. As Ivy Grashik trying to hold on and keep in contact with Mia Hu. But she will turn for home in a time of 1:45. So we'll see what she's got left in the tank here.
Yeah, she has set this race to perfection. 36.07 on that last 50. A full second clear of anyone else in the field. Gratzik leads the charge still. Velichovsky in medal contention out of lane 2. But no one will catch Mia Hu of Carlisle. She has absolutely obliterated the field through this final lap. Who else but Mia as she stops the clock. 2:20.87. Ivy Gratzik holds on for second. And third goes the way of Charlotte Brown, storming through the field. That is a spectacular performance from Mia Hu. We've seen it all week, and we saw it again. Gratzik so brave, pushed that second 50, but it was the challenge that Mia needed to lift through. And as we said, Hu on top, Mia.
Yeah, nicely paced swim there in the 200 backstroke. It's tough here in the outdoor pool. We saw a few of the swimmers going over and finding safety next to the lane rope. In fact, one in particular, every stroke just turning her head to find the lane rope and trying to make sure that she's on track. Not a lot to guide yourself here in the outdoor pool at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre, but doing it in style. Mia Hoop, our swimmer from Carlisle, split it really, really evenly throughout the swim. It's exactly what you want to look for in a 200 event, especially the 200 backstroke, and coming away with the goods. Took about 5 seconds off her heat swim and taking home a gold medal for her efforts. As we welcome to pool deck the 14 years 200 metres backstroke A finalists. And that Australian record, again, Kaylee McEwen, a 209.6 this time. So even quicker, not surprisingly, that extra year of experience and strength. And the eyes immediately go to looking at the program. Some familiar names. Charlotte Lim from Carlisle. She's had a very strong meet already. She actually had the 400 IM but withdrew to focus, you would think, on this race as she goes in fastest qualifier. Lucy Ma didn't. She took out the 400 IM and in spectacular style. And if you remember, she had probably her most dominant leg was the backstroke. So let's see how she's recovered. That was, I don't know, I'd have to say the best part of an hour ago. So you could argue that there's been enough time to recover, but has there really? It was 400 IM. It's a tough event. Lauren Bethel in the mix. Zara Barr. Georgia Pettigrew up in lane 6. And Fujikawa in 7 from Lane Cove. It's going to be an interesting one.
They called the record out for the 13-year-old girls. No surprise, the same for the 14-year-old girls. Kaylee McEwen, 209.60. If you look through the top 10 of all time, though, we've got Kaylee, we've got Amy Forrester, Minna Atherton, Hayley Baker, Mickey Sheridan, Jacqueline Barclay, Emily Seabohm. There are some good names. We've had some good stocks. And Charlotte Lim threatening to add herself to those. So we head off here in the final of the 14 years 200 backstroke. Really using this start is Charlotte Lim from Carlisle. Just transitioning into the stroke as they come down to the 25-metre mark of this opening lap. There is nothing splitting this field. Lucy Ma right there with him is Bethel and Barr out of lane 3 and 2 respectively. And lane 6, that's Georgia Pettigrew, all looking for a bit of action in this opening 50.
It's a blanket field at the moment, Matt.
It is. I just want to say that 15, how close was Charlotte Lim at that 15 metres?
Yeah, and it always is in some of the races. You can go right up to that 15 mark and pop up right where the red is there. So the girls really utilising that. And if you have the underwater skills, why not? Because it quite often is faster and you have the trajectory off the dive. But Lucy Ma moving through now. Was it Charlotte Kim next to Lucy Ma? Doing a great job in the middle of the pool. And next to her, Lauren Bethel as well, moving through very nicely. But the field is tight at the moment. No one really putting their hand up just yet as the underwater's being worked, again, really well by Charlotte Lim. It's obviously a strength of hers moving forward. So that 108 split, looking for a pretty solid, even split to finish off this 200. But it is Charlotte Lim continuing to move forward. But Lucy Ma, done all the events this week, has just done the 400 IM. She's got the endurance there, starting to pick up the rate a touch. But at the moment, it will be Charlotte Lim who will turn first. Lauren Bethel there. Zara Barr doing a great job from MLC as well. But even out there, Fujikawa in that third position. This is anyone's race at the moment.
Yeah, Fujikawa storming through on that third 50 as you picked up to sit in third. There are challenges coming all over the pool. The leading challenge, though, looks to be Bethel and Barr as they come down. Here is Lucy Ma in lane 5 as she's come from 4th on that last turn. Lucy Ma storming over the top of this field, and she's going to come away to take the victory for MLC 2:20.14. Wow, what a finish from Lucy Ma, and she claims another national title. with a fantastic final 50. Charlotte Lim gets second. Third goes the way of Bethel, but it's not over till it's over.
Wow, two national titles in one night. One in a 400 AM and one in a 200 back. They are not easy events to back up from. We're worried a little bit about her recovery. Well, why did we even think about it? She comes over the top of them. Maybe that is the best warm-up. Maybe that's what everyone should do for a warm-up for a 200 backstroke, is just bang out a 400 IM before you get there. Incredible.
Yeah, fantastic job, Lucy Ma. She just rocketed. And it was anyone's race at the 150. The girls were doing a fantastic job. The race was very even. Lucy Ma just drops the hammer with a 34.2 split. Outsplit the field there by almost a second and a half.
So, massive scenes here at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre. The crowd's really getting into it. Plenty more action to come. Coming up, we've got some 50 butterfly action. The boys 13, 14 years, and the girls 15, 16 years before we finish with the 1500 and some relays. So, plenty more to come. Make sure you stay with us here on 9 Now as we cover the Australian Age Championships. We'll be back right after this break.
Thanks for joining us once again, Nine's Wide World of Sports, for this extended and exclusive coverage of the 2026 Australian Age Championships here on the Gold Coast at this fantastic venue, which has proved absolutely brilliant through the first 6 days of competition. Still plenty left on night 6, including this event, as we welcome out our A finalists in the boys 13 years 50-metre butterfly.
We're going from some big events to some really short ones. I love a 50 butterfly. It's not that complicated, but it looks impressive and it's fast.
Absolutely. What do you want to see here? Time-wise, I know we want to see good skills and hands on the wall first.
Well, the Australian record for the 13 years is Carl Chalmers' 25.89. We've got the fastest qualifier this morning at 26.47. Can he go under 26? If he is, he may as well break that record. You're almost there.
Absolutely. That'd be a fantastic time. We've seen Kyle do some more 50 flies as we're getting older. He got pretty close to the open Australian record of Matt Targett's, the super-suited record.
Yeah, he'll hopefully get that soon. I say that hopefully. I'm very good friends with Matt Targett, but King Kyle, he started off, he had told that great story, starting off with the 50 butterfly and sort of coming back to it, if you like. And he does it so well, he's so strong. But what I look for in the 50 butterfly is that head position right on the surface of the water and just driving forward. Don't want the head too high for a breath, don't want the head too low for when you're not breathing. Just keep it at that surface level and drive forward as hard as you possibly can.
Take your marks.
So we hit the water here with the 50-metre butterfly final of the 13 years variety. A great start really across the field. Going strongly is lane 7, Kim Inferius. And now we see Lewis Gill in the middle of the pool, moving through for the City of Sydney. He's not having it his own way. Farias is still fighting for that title, but it will sit with Jewel as he stops the clock. 26-21, the second fastest Australian of all time, behind Kyle Chalmers, and he absolutely loves it. Remember the name, Lewis Jewell, 26-21, second going the way of Ferrisis and Nyang, rounding out the top 3 out of lane 1. Just the start, just in the start, you know?
Yeah, well, he swam through as well. He was pretty even with the rest of the field. In fact, Ferrisis, it may have had a better start, but Jewell there coming away with the win. He swam so well in the second 25, and not that much more to go. You know, drop another third of a second, which is, I was going to say not a lot, but it's actually a fair bit in a 50. But it's you've done so much work. It really shows the class of the swim as our B finals. The finalists getting up for their turn.
Take your marks.
And they're away here in the B final for the 13 years. Shot out like a block was Ethan Carr in lane 1, and he is moving, he's flying through the water, and he's going to move through that first 25 very quickly, but the rest of the field starting to catch up now as we look towards the middle of the pool. Billy Mayne in there as well. Will he get his hand on the wall? McCormack. It is going to be Billy Mayne from Thomas McCormack there. 27s. Ethan Carr, who started it really well, has finished in third. Billy Mayne loves it.
We've seen some rogue celebrations, but I think that might be up there with the best of them. Billy Mayne loving his screen time, and deservedly so as our B final winner. 27-63, the double Cobras on the lane rope. Thank you very much.
Yeah, love that. Could be a bet amongst teammates.
You'd hope so.
It's a B final, but why not have some fun?
Nah, it's good to see them all enjoying it and taking the opportunity to practice their sellies. You see it so often. You see it in the footy. All of the new young kids doing what they do. You know what? If you're good at it, have the selly. Do what you want to do.
The A final now for the 14 years. Our fastest qualifier, Ishak Ismail. You will remember that name because he just had the 200 individual medley earlier and held on for second. Was really strong in the fly at the start of the race and was just taken over at the end. But this looks right up his alley. One lap of butterfly, set a time of 25.13. Just over a third of a second ahead of second place Xavier Tay, then Samokin, as Jim Carey would say. The record is 24.97, held by Maxwell Cunningham, and not far off that mark, so only about 2/10. He drops another 2/10 from this morning. We could be right on that swim.
He looked so strong and powerful this morning in his heat. He dominated. He was about a second in front of the next competitor. But he was really popping out. And you were speaking about that head position before, Matt. He was really doing that exact thing, just right on top of the water.
I love that you're doing a demonstration. He's doing a demonstration in the commentary booth.
I'm keen to get out there.
I know.
I'm excited.
Just itching, aren't you?
The best thing for a audio realm.
It's the equivalent of white line fever for swimming. Blue line fever. And they are off and racing here. The boys, 14 years, A final. As we said, Ishak Ismail this morning was only 0.2 off the Australian record, so he might be on record watch tonight. And he has flown out of the gun. We're looking in the middle of the pool here He's going through the first 25 metres at blistering pace, and he's going to come down to the wall if he finishes on a full stroke, and he does. And he's done it. 24.80. Isaac Ishmael has broken the Australian record. That is a cracking swim there from Isaac Ishmael. He flew out of the blocks and he absolutely rocketed towards the wall and nailed it on that full stroke.
Woo! Yeah, happy about that one. Maxwell Cunningham broke it last year, or 2 years ago in fact, and it is written out of the books. We've seen Cunningham already race so strongly at these championships, but I'm sure he's watching on through gritted teeth as Surrey Park represents 24.80. That's a 14-year-old.
That's hard to believe, and he's done a cracking job there. Really just powerful swim. As we watch the replay here, he just shot out of the start and he moved through. I didn't see a breath in there, which is a fantastic effort. It's exactly what you want in a 50. It's hard to nail everything, and he knew straight away. The reaction is telling. He's pumped.
Did not even need to look at the clock. The good thing is we get to hear exactly how he feels about it. He's down on pool deck with none other than our man, Matt Welsh. So we'll head down to him in a second. But what a performance that was. Confirming now that result. Ishmael 24.80. Tay in second. Rounding out the top three is Jim Carey's friend Shamokin. But we are down with Matt now with our winner and record holder.
I am down here with Isaac, and after a 200 I am not the best lead-in, but it worked for you at the 50 fly. Were you going after it tonight?
Yeah.
Well, you were so close this morning. What could you do different? What did you do different tonight?
That's the secret.
I guess that's fair, but still, coming off of the 200 IM, did you feel any sort of fatigue, anything, or were you just like, nah, I'm just going to go for it?
Nah, I'm just going for it.
Fair enough. All right, man, a few words, but a man very fast at the 50 fly. Well done.
Thank you.
Playing his cards very close to his chest, as I would as well. 24.80 as a 14-year-old. Remember the name.
Yes, cracking swim, and he's a man of few words, but he can swim. As we now move to the B final, the boys would have just seen that. Hopefully got a bit hyped up. We'll see what the B final can produce here.
Take your marks.
Long hold, but away here, the B final. The 14 years boys enter the water. Great start out of 4. Taylor using that lucky lane to power himself through the first 25 metres. You can see Taylor, the high stroke rate, driving himself forward. He's up against it here as Engel and Evans, Gardner on the far side of the pool, all starting to lift. The final 5 metres now. It should be Taylor, and it is. 26. No, Dingnan. Sorry, went too early with it. I'd love a shot of that finish. Noah Dingnan of Camden stealing the show and now putting on a show. 26-29, the way that it was won by 0.04 to Taylor, who led the whole race. Gardner in third.
Did look close.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Like he got it, didn't it?
Wow.
Oh, no, he did. He did. That is correct.
That's Phelps cabbage type stuff.
Yeah, it's just the
Conspiracy.
the timing of the stroke. So Dignan does get there. Taylor in for second. Maybe if Taylor had that secret that Isaac wouldn't tell us, maybe he could have got there.
Yes.
Keeping his cards very close to his chest.
He was, wasn't he? Not giving anything away.
Literally.
Maybe on the special sauce for his Macca's burger pre-race.
Well, we had to do something to recover from that 2IM. As we move now into some more 50 butterflies, this time the girls 15 to 16 years, so A and B for each of them. And some more chances to crown some Australian champions. It's been incredible, the I guess I want to say especially in the 50s, but we've seen it in all over. We've seen it in 400s and the whole thing, these Australian records being broken. Emily Seebohm has got a record of them. I think we've got 12 so far, but we need to confirm that with the timekeepers. But yeah, it's been amazing to see this next generation coming through and just not letting anything hold them back, just demolishing everything in their path.
I feel like the 50s are relatively new for the records as well.
A bit more focus.
Not taking anything away because it's still a fantastic effort and it's still an Australian record, but we're just seeing them being smashed by the young'uns coming through now. So I guess with the addition of the 50s into the Olympics now, we have that sprint focus. I want to say Cam McAvoy's changing the game a little bit as well, but he's doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, no, potentially. And some of these records dating back to, 10, 15, 20 years, depending on the event. So it's not like it's, every year it gets broken. These are strong records that have stood the test of time. And 2026 was just a bit too much for them.
Love to see it, though.
Take your marks.
So underway for the girls' 15 years A final. Long way underwater, I love it. Annika Kobus, Ava Cairns looking really good in the middle of the pool. Ava Carmenzuli almost up there, but that lead that Annika Kobus got underwater, she's just stretched it out in the second 25. Big battle for second, but it looks like Kobus with a good almost half body length will touch in a 27.20. Carmenzuli a 27.75. And that time just outside the Australian record, held by Olivia Hine, 27.13. So you can see just how close that was. Third through Van Deventer. And then Ava Cairns in for fourth. Annalise Matthew in for fifth. But very, very close, having to look all across the pool for those placings as they fly at the wall.
Girls getting harassed there by one of these beetles just sitting on the water there. Good reason to jump out of the pool quickly.
Not scared of a 55, but scared of a beetle.
Yeah, the only ones who are loving this event more than the spectators are the crickets in the pool. They're getting right up and close and personal to our athletes.
Bit of protein.
Best seats in the house.
Not that close.
So we have our B final ready to go here in the 15 years 50-metre butterfly. You would have just seen that fantastic performance. 0.07 as it was called through off the Australian record. So we are absolutely flying as we get ready for another 50. Griffith Uni well represented in 5 and 6. London Asquith out of lane 6. Madeline Harvey out of lane 5.
Take your marks.
So our B finalists hit the water, great reaction and going strongly. That's lane 7, that's Tongella of New Zealand, absolutely exploding off the blocks. The field now starting to catch up, 25 metres swum. You can see the battle of Potter and Crouch, famously out of lanes 1 and 2. As they come down though, you can see almost anyone can get their hand on the wall, and it goes the way of Madeline Harvey, 28.12. Second, Crouch. Third was Faye, and pretty happy with that one. Madeline Harvey on the screen, and Griffith Uni getting a bit of a hype up there between Harvey and Asquith.
Yeah, that was a quick time. That time pretty much would have put her fourth going into the A final. So she's taken off a significant chunk of time from this morning. So B final swum for the girls 15 years in the 50 butterfly. And 2 more 50s to go. The 16 years A and B final. You can see the record there, 26.61 for our 15 years. So interestingly, the 15 years record, 26.22, is faster than the 16 years, 26.61.
At that time, Yelang Kukla obviously went on to win the Commonwealth Games gold that year in that event. So clearly, and interesting to your point before, Alex, around the introduction to the Olympics in those 50s, a lot of the long-standing 50s records that we have in the form strokes are based on performances at the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah, absolutely. And Yelang Kukla, as a 15-year-old, went to those commies in 2010 in Delhi and won. I know she won the 53. I thought she was 14 though, but it says 15 in the fly. Maybe that was a little bit later, but yeah, it's cracking and it's exciting. I think it's bringing some energy into the sport.
This is the athlete to watch, McCutcheon, out of lane 4. Of course, racing as a visitor, so she's not eligible to break the Australian age record, but the Australian age and all-comers record is set the same for this event. Brianna Throssell, 26.61, so McCutcheon could break that all-comers record if she was to get her hand on the wall first. Heidi Schumack also swimming in this final out of lane 5, as you just saw. She has been absolutely incredible, and same as Lila Rebo out of 3.
Take your marks.
So we hit the water here, the A final of the 16 years variety. What a start it was from Schumack, using 14.5 meters underwater, but going strongly now. McCutcheon in lane 4. The battle certainly between those. Lila Rebo just outside in lane 3, trying to get her hand on the wall first. Haynes as well in 6, but it is that diamond-shaped formation as we come down. It's going to be Schumack. No! 27.10. McCutcheon touches out by 0.01. Had an absolute mare on the call again. But great to see McCutcheon not listening and firing through to the final stroke. This will be, again, a very interesting watch on that touch.
Yeah, I don't know how you didn't see that. That was absolutely plain as day. 1/100th of a second. McCutcheon in front of Schumack. They don't get much closer than that, do they? Look at it. Unbelievable.
I think they'll both walk away with the gold there. McCutcheon with the visitor symbol, so great job.
They're from the Fiji club. So Schumack touching second, but getting first Australian. And now we welcome the B finalists for their turn. So this is the 11th to 20th fastest from this morning in the heats.
Take your marks.
It's underway for the B final. Really nice long underwater from Kiachia out in lane 7. Sienna Gibson really broke out well, and Charlotte Harding in lane 9. Now coming through the middle of the pool, Zara Jeffrey in lane 3 wants it. So does Dory Lee in 1. It's going to be between the two. I think Lee's going to get it in lane 1. She comes down to the wall at 27.68. She touches out Zara Jeffrey by only about 0.2 of a second. And third through is Kelly Bowman from the Newmarket Races. So a great swim in the outside lane there from Dory Lee to take out the B final for the 16 years 50 metres butterfly. As we start the progressive end of the program. I say end of the program because we only have one more individual event to go, and then our club relays. And the club relays are some 4x50 freestyles. But that one race we have to go is the boys 15 to 16 years, 1,500 metres freestyle. We crowned the 15 years gold, silver and bronze this morning. There's only one 15-year-old swimming tonight. And that happens to be a visitor. So their time will dictate what place they get and potentially a medal. If they're faster than the winner this morning, the fastest 15, they will get gold. And obviously after that, silver, bronze, or thank you very much for coming. But it's all about the 16-year-olds in this one. And the fastest qualifier, Lincoln Wearing, he's in lane 4. His brother right next to him, Isaac Wearing, is in lane 3. So technically with Russell Pang, another visitor from the Singapore club, along with Nicholas Tan, the 15 visitor that I mentioned before, the Wearing brothers are the top 2 qualifying Australian athletes. So couldn't separate them at birth, and we can't separate them in the pool. We've got them right next to each other.
Well, I don't want to get too excited prematurely here, Matt, but Lincoln Wearing has been absolutely fantastic. We saw him drop time in the 800 freestyle, breaking his own Australian age record. And these are some very big records that stand here for the 16-year-olds.
They are. The Australian record held by Kieran Perkins at a 14:58.08, and the all-comers record held by Grant Hackett, the 15:03.67.
Would say he's going to have to do it by himself if he wants to get out after it. I mean, not surprising for Wearing. Would love to see some competition at the front, especially through the early stages, but Lincoln Wearing looks ominous. They head into the water for this final individual event of the evening. The boys, 15, 16 years, 1,500 metre freestyle. The 15-year-old, as mentioned, from lane 1. We have highlighted this event all the way from day one. We've been waiting for Lincoln Wearing to head to the water for the 1,500 metre battle. He's got his brother next to him. He's got Russell Pang on the other side, and those are the top 3 as we head through what we want to see here from Lincoln Wearing, setting up that first 500 without putting too much energy in, but we really want to see low 30 point to 29 high 50 metre freestyles.
Yeah, he's doing a great job setting himself up. Really nice and smooth technique, just getting into his rhythm there. Already put a body length on the competition, so it will be Lincoln Wearing and his mind out there as he's split a 29.9 for a 57.6. So it's a good start. Plenty of laps in a 1,500. So he's going to settle into his rhythm and his stroke rate, count his strokes. Russell Pang sticking within a body length of Lincoln Wearing at the moment. But he's looking comfortable, nice and smooth. Just a nice, relaxed little kick on the back there. He drifts into that 30.2 for that split. So if you can hold around there, even into the low 31s, he should be fine.
Well, the good thing about the 1,500, we know they start fast, they finish fast. Those first and last 100s usually around 2 to 3 seconds faster than what they're holding throughout the race. So if we can sit around the 100, 100 mid per 100, that could be the time that it takes to go very close to these national records. Once again, Kieran Perkins holds the Australian age record, 14:58.08. The all-comers record, so the fastest time swum in Australia for a 16-year-old. Grant Hackett, 15:03.67. And Lincoln Wearing certainly has the resume to compete with those. As we go down, this will be 250 metres swum. He's right on that pace, but it's going to take a big effort to get under. I think as we watch him turn through there, what we're going to expect from this first 500 is just no extra effort. He really wants to set it up, and then he'll build from that 500 metre mark. So I do like where he's sitting at the moment with those mid 30-point 50 metre swims.
Yeah, doing a great job, and that's exactly right, Will. He'll want to set this race up, whether he chooses to break it up by 500s and try and get a little bit quicker each 500. But he's doing a fantastic job at the moment, just holding these 30 points. Still in the 30 points now, moving around 2:59, so still solid. His entry here is a 15:18, so it's already a very swift swim for that 16-year-old age. We'll see what he has in store for us, but he's looking very comfortable at the moment. It's nice and smooth. Hasn't dropped his stroke rate at all. Nice long strokes out in front. He's catching a lot of water, so he's been able to move himself through very nicely. I'm sure he's done a number of reps. We've already seen him race a few times over this meet. He had that 3:48 in the 400 a few days ago, so he's in good form. So if he can just continue this, I think he's going to be in for a pretty good time.
The good news for Waring, of course, that he does have another couple of opportunities to try and attempt this record. Is he will for sure be heading to the Australian trials, you'd have to say, later this year, where we will see him against the very best of the country, essentially, trying to compete. A lot of athletes around that 15-minute mark, 1500. We've talked about those barriers throughout the championships, but you'd have to say the 15-minute 1500 would have to be the biggest barrier in men's swimming.
Absolutely. It's a really tough one to do, and it's your sub-minute hundreds pretty much you're averaging there. So it's tough, and it's a great barrier. And he's doing a really good job. I remember it must have been 2014 when I watched Mac Horton. He went to 14:59 for the first time, but he just missed the Australian qualifying time for the open team. But he was pumped that he got under that 15-minute mark either way. So it is a fantastic barrier to get under. If Lincoln Waring can do it, he'll definitely have his sights set on it. Being 16 this year, and I dare say he will be going to the Junior Pan Packs later this year in Vancouver. So he'll get a good opportunity to race some international competition in the US. The US have a strong age group program. I'm sure they've got some up-and-coming swimmers. Canadians are doing really well. The Japanese are doing really well. So that'll be a really good competition to get to.
Yeah, we saw Kozuko Kojima taking out the Pan Pac 1500 a couple of years ago. He went 14:57, and it was an absolute doozy between him and an American athlete through the final 50. So if he can get around those low 15-minute mark, 1500s, he'll be well within right to compete against the very best of that rising generation of distance freestyle. The distance freestyle, now we've seen it just absolutely explode in the last couple of years. We've recently seen just so many fast swimmers, especially out of Europe, drop into those 1440 range, the 740 range as well in the 800 freestyle. So I'm really excited for Lincoln Waring and what his future holds. Unfortunately for Waring, you'd have to say there's going to be a fair bit of hard training, but we've gone through 600 metres swum now. We've seen just a slight dip in the time. So Lincoln Waring going from those high 30.50 metres down to the mid 30.50 metres. We'll see how consistent that stays over the next 300 metres before he moves into that final 500. But also shouting out Pang here. He's sticking fat out of lane 5. Again, not letting that gap blow out too much, which is fantastic to see for the young Singaporean.
Yeah, absolutely. You talk about the hard work that Lincoln Waring's got to do. Most of the time, these distance athletes, they eat that up. They love to swim. They love to knock out the Ks. They love the hard sets. They love to push themselves. 1500 is not an easy race. May look like he's cruising at the moment, but I'm sure he's feeling the burn. And you feel that pretty instantly, right deep down into your stomach. But it is just about putting up with that pain and getting uncomfortable. And these distance athletes are the best at doing that. And that's why they do challenge themselves. But you're exactly right. These international stage, as we move to the World Championships, a couple of years ago in Japan, in Fukuoka, that race between Sam Short and the Tunisian and Bobby Fink as well. So there's 3 of them up there, all went into the 1430s, which is crazy. So as much as it is a long race, it's really good to see all these athletes come forward. And you even mentioned the 800 there as well. The addition of the 800 to the Olympics may even be pushing these distance athletes to go even faster.
Well, we go through the halfway mark here of the 1500. And Lincoln Wearing doing a great job, very consistent through his splits. The only competitor in the field who has maintained all of his 50s in the 30-second barrier, so he hasn't gone over 31. And he turns the 800 and 8:06.47. Second place, Russell Pang. Jesse Hamilton in third. Riley Mears, your fourth place. Zach Wearing in for fifth. Sixth through, William Thorpe. And Mackenzie Crocker holding seventh. Eighth is Nicholas Tan with Oliver Brown right next to him in ninth. And Jordan Tucker out in lane 9, rounding out the 10. So about 13 laps to go for our leader, Lincoln Wearing. And he's consistently holding those times in the mid-30 seconds.
He is indeed. He's doing a great job. He's just gone a little bit quicker there, 30.4. So he's on track for about, I want to say, about a 15.10 at the moment. So he's doing a really good job. He gets his arms moving nicely. The kick has been consistent the whole way throughout this race. So Lincoln Wearing, a star to watch in the future.
I think he's just starting to drop down that time as well. So 9:07.27, we're starting to just fade away from that 14:58 mark, which is completely fine. As you mentioned, he is a 15:18, 1500 meter at this stage. So we are seeing him right on pace for a personal best. And he will most likely post one of the fastest ever times for a 16-year-old over this distance. 30.4 in that last 50. Again, just trying to dip down into those low 30-point marks. As you mentioned, the speed that's come into distance freestyle and calling back that race in Paris and even Fukuoka the year prior. 25 has become the average to come home in. Hafnui, Bobby Fink, Sam Short, as you mentioned, but even the likes of Florian Walbrock, you need to be able to come home in a 25-26 last 50 after swimming a 1500, holding, mid 28 second 50. So these athletes really stepping it up at an international level. We're seeing somewhat of a renaissance, but clearly the talent that is Wearing has spiked the interest of some of the very best coaches in Australia. House is absolutely jam-packed this evening, and a lot of people interested to see what the Chandler product can produce here.
Absolutely right. Watching with keen interest over there, the head coach. And we're keeping an eye on Lincoln Wearing for sure. As I mentioned, keen to see what he produced on the international stage as a junior for the Pan Packs. And look, I'm not counting him out even having a swim against the Opens. Obviously, still being that 16 years of age, we're going and testing himself there. There is a pathway. A lot of very successful Australian athletes going to these junior meets, the junior Pan Packs and junior world championships to get that initial international experience there. So I'm sure that's a route that Lincoln Wearing will take. And you are right, that 1500 closing speed of Bobby Fink is something else. I remember being there at the Tokyo Games and watching him come over the top of everyone and demolishing. I think he broke the world record in that. And I believe we were tied for gold medals, the Aussie team, at that time. And I was absolutely shattered because he gets the gold medal and he put the US in front of us. Fantastic swimmer, and he's still going.
Only male gold medal of the meet, I believe, as well for Bobby Fink. So it was a serious burner for Australia, but good to see that we're going to have some more talent that look to challenge the likes of Fink. Obviously, Sam Short's done a great job, but the distance ranks really starting to lift, including this battle for third. We can see Jesse Hamilton and Riley Mears. Riley Mears, one of the most exciting open water prospects on the Australian junior team. He'll be heading over to Argentina later this year to represent the green and gold over there. He's just been passed by Hamilton as they come down with 300 meters to swim. It's going to be tough to see a reaction here from Mears. He looks fairly cooked with 300 to go. It's a great effort that St. Peter's product has put together, but Hamilton for Chandler just looking too strong as he pulls away. But sitting back with our leader now, we can see it is Lincoln Wearing He's going to come down. He's going to have 200 metres to swim. You can see the officials starting to get tantalisingly close to that bell. They want to ring it. They want to see Lincoln Waring absolutely fly home that final 50. He's sitting 13:10.57, as we see on our screen now. Pang of Singapore still looking very confident in second.
He's looking good. There's 200 metres left. He's 13:10. He's going to have some closing speed. See if he picks it up a little bit. But it is Russell Pang turning in second there. Starting to drop a little bit of time. He's in 13:25. Moving through as we're with Lincoln Waring on screen now. He's looking nice and long. The kick has picked up a little bit. It's been nice and comfortable. He's dropped time there again, 30.2, so he's starting to pick it up. He knows where he's at. He's kept that long stroke throughout this whole race. Very comfortable kick, but expect when that bell rings, he'll be dropping the hammer and he'll be going for broke. So fingers crossed we see that around that 15:10 mark. His entry time of 15:18. So it looks like he's going to better that time either way. As we hear the bell, big smile on the official's face as they get to do the bell ringing. As Lincoln Waring picks up the pace, his stroke rate has lifted. His feet are moving him through the water. He's got a nice bow wave behind him. Really solid technique.
Well, there's some smiling faces here on the pool deck for night 6. We had this one circled in the program from night 1, and it's delivered in spades as Lincoln Waring now has 50 metres to swim. He's going to bring in the legs, and what's the time he can swim? We're tantalisingly close to a sub 15:10. 1500 would just send shivers around the world. Remember the name. We've said that a couple times this evening, but we mean it with every essence of the word as Lincoln Waring from Chandler comes down to stop the clock. 15:10.44. Lincoln Waring, rejoice. A fantastic swim. The 4th fastest Australian of all time, behind Horton, Hackett and Perkins.
That is unbelievable company there as we see Russell Pang touching the wall in second place. Our visitor from Singapore has done a fantastic job there. The battle for third was on, but it looks like it's going to go the way of Jesse Hamilton, who touches the ball there in a 15:42. Riley Mears bringing home that bronze medal as third Australian home, 15:49. Geez, that was a powerful swim. He didn't have one split over 30 points, Lincoln Waring. He came home in a 29.0, so really, really great job as the rest of the field finishes off this distance event and the last individual event we have tonight as we move towards some relays and some bragging rights for the clubs out there. Some short and sharp 4x50s, they're always fun. But last 1500 there from Lincoln Waring. He's had a great meet.
So consistent through his 50s. It really was like a metronome, ticking off every single one as he went through, and just sped up obviously with that last 100, just showing how much consistency he was. We've seen sometimes that last 100 they drop a lot of time. He only dropped a second or thereabouts compared to what he was doing before, so really showing some great speed throughout that 1500 and put himself right up with some of the biggest names in distance swimming that Australia has ever seen. So a great way to finish the individual swims for the night, as we see replays from the big swim. And exactly as you said, Alex, now into some other big swims, 4x50. We've got the girls 17 to 18 years 4x50 freestyle relay. We've got the boys 17 to 18 4x50. We've got 2 heats of them, and then the girls 13 to 14 years 4x50 freestyle relay. So these are really short, sharp and fun. And the swimmers really love to get around them. So each of these races should go for less than 2 minutes and should be very, very dynamic.
Yeah, it's a bit of fun, these club relays. You get to train together. When you come to these meets, you're always training as a squad, individual clubs around the country. So it's really nice to be able to come together and race together. It's not often that you get these opportunities. Quite often you're racing each other in the pool and racing for spots and things like that. So it'll be exciting. We'll see 2 athletes from each team up either end, as it is a 4x50. We see some good clubs here and some strong rivalries popping up, I'd say. We're kicking off with that girls 17 to 18 years age group. Be combined there. And it's this 4x50 metre freestyle relay. So everyone's been doing freestyle. Good opportunity for the girls off the gun to register a time that will count towards their PBs. So that's the way these relays roll. You're off the gun, counts as an individual swim.
Take your marks.
Girls are away for our first relay of the night. 17 to 18, 4x50 metre freestyle relay. In lane 1, we have Castle Hill. Lane 0, Castle Hill, sorry. Lane 1, St Andrews. Dapto in 2, Manly in 3, Bond in 4, Rackley 5. St Peter's Western in 6, Abbotsleigh 7, Hale 8, and Rackley in 9. It is the middle of the pool so far, as Rackley and St Peter's leading the way, and Bond coming in 3rd there as the first changeover.
So just the one heat of this girls 17 to 18 years 4x50. And this will determine our gold, silver and bronze for the club. Plenty of points up for the clubs, and the coaches love to gather them. So 2 Rackley teams, a Rackley A and B. And it's the Bond uni in first, then St Peter's, then Rackley A in for 3rd. Now on to their 3rd swimmer. And wow, what a swim in the middle of the pool. Dove in with about a 1/3 of a second lead, and that has increased exponentially as she goes through this 50. So Annabelle Allert in there in the middle of the pool, and Keen Bergen in lane 5. And they really have separated themselves out in the lead of this event. So Bond versus Rackley A, and coming down to the touch, I think Bond has just started to stretch it out. So final swimmer Cook has done enough to get to the wall first to take out the Australian Championship for the girls 17 to 18 years. So first through to the wall, Bond, then Rackley, then St Peter's as your 1st, 2nd and 3rd.
Good relays.
You can see the pool deck is just alive with energy this evening, and for good reason. That was a fantastic way to start it off, and Alex, you'd be pretty happy with Bond taking out that first one.
Absolutely. Great job there for Bond. Spent a few years there training, going to university. It's a good squad there at the moment, head up by Chris Mooney, Cole Samuelson, Xander there. Doing a great job with all the squads, all the athletes there. Quite a young squad, but they've got it figured out. It's quite good when you get to train with people your own age. As the girls are excited, just watching some of the reactions around pool deck, and that is the best thing about these relays. You get so excited and invested. It's a great thing to come together as a team in an individual sport and racing together for your teammates.
So this one will be fast as well. The boys 17, 18 years. 4x50 freestyle relay. The fastest through, only 0.2 separated between Manly and Brisbane Grammar. You know, Brisbane Grammar would be absolutely electric if they get up. Lane Cove, 139.1 in lane 3. So we can see our boys ready to race here. St. Peter's Western, bronze in the relay before. The boys want to deliver as the same. It's what we saw in the girls, 17, 18 years. So, the boys' turn. 2 heats to come.
Take your marks.
So the first 2 hit the water here in the boys' 17, 18 years. 4x50. A splash and dash times 4. And going strongly, Charlie Lutton lighting it up. He's had a fantastic meet thus far. 25 he was leading, but here comes Brodie Smith in lane 2. And Smith should hold the lead after 50. Swam.
Yeah, great job there, Brodie Smith. Harrison Reid putting in a good effort there for Lane Cove. But it is the Camden squad moving through now. Very powerful second swim here from Lincoln Stanislas, who's going to get to the wall and get his hand first as the leg number 3 jumps in. A few flying starts. Great opportunity to practice those relay starts. They're a bit of fun. Get to launch yourself into the air like you don't normally usually do. But the race is now on. The rest of the field coming through the middle of the field as well. The Manly squad, Justin Law, Brisbane Grammar putting in a great swim as well. And they're moving through nicely. It's going to be very tight in this heat number 1 of these timed finals.
We have a lead change there as Gorbanzo hands over to Cahill. Brisbane Grammar edging away, but it's a fight and 4 across the field. Lanes 3 through 6 as they come down to finish it off. Brisbane Grammar with a late kick through Cahill, and it should finish that way. It does. 1:36.53. Don't worry about GPS. How do you stand up at the national age? And Brisbane Grammar said, come and get me. 1:36.53. With another heat to come. That, of course, leads us through. Good team put together and very happy to come over the top, I'm sure. 4x50 freestyle, the ultimate bragging rights at the Australian Age Champs.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic effort. Get hyped for the rest of the night. Get your teams ready. You can hear us in the marshalling room. Fire up. Because there's national titles to be won. And there's bragging rights as well. You will be the best team in the country. So we're moving to heat number 2 with the boys 17, 18 years time finals. So this is the faster of the seeded heats. So Brisbane Grammar threw down that time of 1:36. We'll keep a track on that. There was a bunch of 1:36s actually. So that is the time to beat. As we look to lane 4, Rackley with the fastest seeded time. St Andrews in there, Miami, Knox, Pymble, Cranbrook. It's all happening in this final heat.
You ever win a national age relay, Alex?
No, I never had the chance. You know what? That's a lie. We broke the national record in the 4x2 in my last year of swimming.
Oh, wow.
At Miami, under Richard Scarce. We had a great squad there. Max Giuliani, Jimmy Kosh, Alex Grant and myself. And we had a time trial at the Queensland States. We were the only team in the water just to try and break the national record set by the old Miami of Grant Hackett, Dan Smith, Geordie Harrison and Tommy Fraser-Holmes.
You did it.
And we got it.
Not a national medal, though.
No national medal. I'll take the record.
So the second and fastest heat hits the water here. The 17, 18-year-olds expect this one to be fast and maybe even furious as we go through the opening leg. Ollie Moclair. We keep an eye on the record. It could count. 21.73, his time in the heats. In the 50 freestyle, he's out to a body length and building onto the wall. 22.06 leads us out.
Fantastic swim there from Ollie Moclair. Every time he hits the water, the eyes are instantly drawn to him. He's broken 22 twice this week already, and he's got his team out to a great start. But in there next to him, from that Rackley squad, it is still Cranbrook moving forward. And they will get a jump start, but the Knox Pymble squad moving through very nicely. And Rackley in the middle of the pool trying to come through. Knox Pymble might have got a good ride there from Ollie Moclair's massive lead. Sometimes you can shift over to the lane rope and try and get a bit of a shotgun, Ricky Bobby style.
Final changeover here, and you can see the lead change once again. Knox Pimble takes out Rackley. St Andrews rounding out the top 3. Cranbrook still with a sniff out of lane 6. So the final 50 in the water. Tomo Shadforth has done a good job for Miami. What can come from here? Knox Pimble holding on, but Rackley looming large, as well as Cranbrook. It's absolutely on the line. Who gets there? It's Knox Pimble. And it's Knox Pimble by 0.07. Rackley in second. But Lucas Johnson did a fantastic job to hold off the fast-finishing Samuel Zhang. And Knox Pimble get the New South Wales bragging rights. They also get the Australian bragging rights, the Australian age champions. As we watch the replay, waiting for the ratified results. Ollie McClare, I mean, geez, just a different stratosphere. But it wasn't enough to hold on for Cranbrook as Knox Pimble storms over the top.
Yeah, some solid splits in there. 22-6 from Mitchell, Jack Mitchell. So we hear some explicits from the boys, but they're excited. And we're excited too. As we move now to the younger girls who are about to give this a crack.
That is remarkable. Almost every single one of those teams was based at a private school. So clearly that sprint program, aligned to school program, is working wonders.
Absolutely.
Working wonders. But let's see, we move to a bit of a longer one. 4 heats to come. This is the girls 13-14 years 4x50 freestyle relay.
Take your marks.
So they hit the water and they get ready to race. 4 heats to come. A shot still here at an Australian title. Warringah in the fluorescent pink, swimming out of lane 4 through Sousa, doing a fantastic job to wrangle the lead. DeBone as well out in lane 1, looks to be the best of the challengers, and in fact it's flanked with 8 as Clayton looks to take the lead 4 as well.
Yeah, Clayton, great job out there from Trinity Grammar. Puts her team in the lead. And it's Chloe Joe keeping that lead for the time being, but over across the other side of the pool, doing a fantastic job as well. Out in lane 1 is the Boyne Tanham squad, who is going to get their hand on the wall first, I'd say. So fantastic effort there from the Boyne Tanham swimmer. Chloe Joe keeping that lead, so fantastic split for Trinity Grammar as the girls are moving through now. The race is heating up as we see a few lead changes. Say the Boyden Tanham team out there. Jasmine Cullen in the water for them, holding on to their lead as they are going to come down for the final swimmer, changing over. There's a fantastic leg there by the Carlisle squad.
Yeah, now in the lead, in fact. So Anna Munzerova taking the lead and handing over to Hannah Jamison in the water. This is that Carlisle B team, and they're showing out in the first heat, getting a bit of pressure from Warringah as they come down the final 5 meters now. Jamison should hold on, and does. Carlisle B, some subtle foreshadowing for the fluorescent orange. 152.27 gets it done. Second is Warringah, the fast finishers. And rounding out the top 3, Randwick City. So we've seen a few wins from Carlisle this evening. The first heat, we'll see them race again in the third heat of this event. The fourth heat, of course. We'll see them again, regardless.
We will indeed, being their B squad. So we get the A team later on as we move into heat number 2. Mostly A teams, Miami B in there and Nunawading B. So some really good representation from the young ladies that just shows the depth of the teams around the country. To be able to field 2 squads, a fantastic effort. I don't think we have any C squads. Mostly A's and B's, but as we move forward, keeping our eyes on the times to beat from the previous heats because they will be getting faster.
Take your marks.
So second and 4 heats hits the water and is underway. Great start on the top of the screen there. You can see Kawana Waters and Yara Plenty doing plenty of work. In fact, as they make their way down this opening 50, it's Ava Combs and Leah Connor of Kawana looking to control the lead. And Kawana Waters will actually hit the wall in first position, changing over 27.67 on the first 50.
Doing a fantastic job out there is Kawana, getting a body length there from the Yara Plenty team. Lexi Freestyle putting in a fantastic effort for Yara Plenty, getting within striking distance of Kawana. It will be Kawana touching first in the 100 as the team's third swimmers fly into the water using that relay start. It's Kenzie Srathsam doing a good job there, holding on for the team. Scarlett Siddle's trying to make a little bit of ground up from Yara Plenty, but it's these two teams out in front at the moment. The rest of the field is bunched up, but they are slowly catching. But Kawana hitting the front with one more swimmer to come. We'll see how this race pans out.
So Safton Siddles doing a fantastic job in that third 50 to sit their teams first, but we can see already the work coming from Yara Plenty out of lane 3. You're sitting with Wedding and Lister. The challenge also of lane 6. There's propulsion coming through. It'll be too little too late. Yara Plenty in second. Kawana Waters gets first. 1:52.65 the time that it takes. So bang on with the heat prior. In fact, Carlisle B team still leading us through. 1:52.27 the time from the first heat. What do we expect from the heats to come? Of course, 2 slalom, 2 to come, and still a gold medal up for grabs. We welcome the results here. Kawana Waters confirmed as our winners. Good to see no disqualifications all through, so it is as it was. And we welcome to the pool deck heat 3, and this is Carlisle A swimming out of lane 2.
Take your marks.
So a host of A clubs as well as St. Peter's B, Melbourne B, all swimming from heat 3 here, with another to come at the conclusion of this. As you see in the middle of the pool, it's Atlantis and Somerset leading us through. As we look wider though, you can see the St. Andrews cap out in lane 6, looking to take control through the first 50.
It is the St. Andrews cap of Grace McKay putting together a very handy swim there. 27.3, getting her squad into the lead. Early days, but the field is pretty tight in this heat number 3. So we're in for some fantastic close racing, which we love. As the middle of the pool in Somerset had a cracking week already, a few national titles, national records from that squad, and they are moving through nicely in this relay. It is Somerset, followed by St. Andrews, holding on to those top 2 positions. In third at the moment is St. Peter's, as the girls are whipping around very quickly. Can't really see what's going on. There's a lot of white water from those swinging arms, but they're doing a great job. A lot on the line here, team pride and a national title.
So down to the final change, and it will be our athletes in 6 of St. Andrews. Lucy Sparling, 27.54 on that third 50. What a changeover it is out of lane 4. In fact, Somerset now with Mia Drury in the water, and Mia Drury doing a fantastic job to just slightly pull away. The challenge is coming from 2. That's Carlisle B, Carlisle A in fact, but Somerset holds the victory. 1:51.06, the fastest time we've seen thus far. A good result for Somerset. Not sure about that reaction, but very sure that that was strong. We look back at the replay, you can see first changeover so important. All of them really.
They all are. First one, you want to get a good lead out there. Can be hard to fight back in amongst the whitewash in a relay, unless you're within their hip or so. You can kind of get that ride on the wake. But when it's close, you just want to be out in front, just a touch. Gives you a little bit of confidence as well. Feel the athlete diving in.
Take your marks.
To the fourth and final heat, hits the water. The time to beat 1:51.06, set by Somerset in heat 3. We should expect some fast swimming here. On paper, the fastest is Miami, 1:49.10, but showing out early on, we can see Hill of St. Peter's sitting now in the middle is good of Miami, but St. Peter's represent through Hill. They'll change over half a second in front.
Great swim there from Amaya Hill, 26.52, really strong, only 13 years of age. So that is an unbelievable swim. As the second swimmers are in the water and the field starts to even out just a touch. At the moment, it is Zoe Guthrie doing the job for St. Peter's out there. They're looking towards the middle. The fastest seeded was Miami, and they are going to touch in second place at the moment, thanks to Macramello. Very strong. And it is starting to even out now. It's anyone's race. This is the fastest heat. The time to beat is a 1:51.06 to be crowned national champion. At the moment, it is St. Peter's out there. Melbourne are in there. Miami's in the mix as well. Miami will hand over to Roxanne Alberton, who's had a fantastic week. She's going to get in there second. It is very close at the top. We're going to see what unfolds in this last 25 metres. I think Roxanne Alberton is going to jet Miami team to the front here, and she's doing a fantastic job with 15 to go.
She is absolutely flying down this final 50. It was tight till Alberton jumped in, but she's blown them away. 1:47.16 to claim the gold. That's half a second faster than the second through in the final 50. Clemenson gets the silver medal for Melbourne. St. Peter's so valiant through the early stages. As we watch the replay, they get the bronze. They let out fast as we watched it all the way to completion. Alberton dived in, and it was race over from that point.
It was. She split at 25.52, so the fastest in the field. So fantastic effort there. There was a 25.6 from Kiara Nixon from Corrimal. That was a great swim there as well.
All three of the medals coming in that fourth and final heat. So clearly the speed is stacked. And we have the first of four heats hitting next. This is the 13-14 years 4x50 freestyle relay for the boys.
It's going to be a great race. Get the boys version now. See what they can throw down. They've just watched the girls version, probably watched their teammates.
I tell you what, Surrey Park in the fourth and final heat. Who do we have on the final 50? Isaac Ishmael.
Fresh off his Australian record in that 50 metres butterfly. Be excited to see that, and he loves his Selly as well. He's keeping secrets. Hopefully he's sharing his speed secrets with his teammates. Hopefully they can get the job done. The Big V, Surrey Park Victorians. Another Wadding there in lane 3 in the final heat. But right now, Surrey Park B squad going to hit the water, lane 3. With Wodonga City and Flinders Phoenix.
So those are the three that hit the water here. The first of four heats, the boys, 13-14 years, 4x50 freestyle relay. A really even start across the pool. A match race, in fact, between Liam, Scott and Burns as they come down. 35 metres swum, 15 to come in this opening leg. This is all eyes around Australia on the first of four. Who gets the hand on the wall first? It goes the way of Jack Burns. What a flex.
Yes, indeed. Doing a great job there, but it is very tight. Got to nail those changeovers in these relays. They are essential. You don't want to jump too early, but the best thing about it is you can jump very quickly and get off quicker than you would at a usual start. That's why these relay splits are quite often faster than individual splits. And the Wodonga City team in the middle there doing a great job. Flinders will still lead, but Jason Denholm caught up quite a fair bit there with a 25-5 split. The Surrey Park B team just falling off the pace a touch. Still doing a fantastic job, but it is Wodonga City moving through now. Billy Main, we've seen that name multiple times tonight. He's doing a great job here for his team.
The main man into the wall. 26-1 on that third 50, and there's no challenging Wodonga City out in front. They've got a body length and a half to Surrey Park B and Flinders Phoenix. There's a late charge from Archer Knott, but I think it will be too little, too late, as Wodonga City about to rejoice. Coming down, Samuel Bellet. He stops the clock. 1:45.05. Flinders Phoenix in second. Surrey Park B get in for third. The big W up for Wodonga.
Wodonga, winner. You name it.
Beautiful part of the world.
Yes, indeed. Had a stop over there when I was driving down from the Gold Coast to Victoria. Fantastic little town. Great to see everyone represented, mostly throughout Australia. Heaps of country towns, heaps of city towns, city squads.
It's the school programs as well.
School programs doing a good job, attracting the talent.
Take your marks.
So heat 2 of 4 hits the water here as we make our way through these boys 13, 14 years, 4x50 freestyle relay. We can see that famous cap of Warringah at the top of the screen, blasting down this opening 50. Zachary Morgan doing a great job, but as we can see, the challenge is coming from University of Queensland. It goes the way of Warringah. Another big W.
That's exactly right. The W teams are getting the wins so far. As we're moving into that second leg now, the Warringah team moving nicely. The Camden team moving nicely as well. I want to say Camden getting the better of the splits there, but even University of Queensland will lead us through. But Lucio Kim from Camden putting together a ripping swim, gets his team on the wall first. But the best thing about a relay is you've got to combine the team, combine the swimmers. All 4 swimmers got to contribute to get that title. And then we are moving through. They're doing a fantastic job so far. University of Queensland moving very nicely. Courtesy of Luca Green, who's put his team in that first place position, but Knox Pimble as well. Their B team moving nicely too.
There's a good changeover out of 8 as we come down this final 50. University of Queensland represented twice in 3 and 8, so bragging rights for the internal program as well. But Grayson Vance is up for the challenge here, and he's stamping the domination on this heat. 1:44.32 to take out the second of 4 heats here for the University of Queensland. Second going the way of Knox Pimble. Another claim there for our 13, 14 years boys. So Knox Pimble B in second. As we watch it back, it was a tie for third. In fact, Warringah and UQB.
Always good in a relay, a tie for third. We'll keep an eye on that time. The 1:44.32 is the fastest time so far with these timed finals. 2 more heats to come here. A few B teams still in here and a few A's.
So the third of 4 heats underway. We watch the start. You can see absolute lightning out of lanes 3 and 4. That's Westside Christchurch in 6 as well, swimming strongly as we come down 15 metres to go. Can't forget about Trinity Grammar out in lane 0. I think those teams will be up there on the first change. They are.
It is. It's going to be Westside Christchurch that leads us through, though. Alberton Hornby, 25-43 split. Brisbane Grammar right up there as well. But it is pretty bunched up at the moment. Out there in lane 0 and 1, the Trinity Grammar, the Rackley squad, putting together particularly good second swims, as Emmanuel will get their hand on the wall first at the halfway point as the third swimmers jump in and start spinning their arms, trying to get their teams to the wall, doing everything they possibly can, willing their teams there. They want the result. This is the best part about now coming to Nationals, getting to share these moments with your teammates that you train day in, day out with. It is out there in lane 1. The Rackley squad moving through fastest now. Andreski putting together a great one to get his team in front.
Now the task sits on Blakely as he has to hold off the middle of the field. You can see Cranbrook racing with Emmanuel with 15 metres to go. The battle well and truly in the middle of the pool. Lee and Allen and Lee onto the wall. It will be Matthew Lee. 1:43.69. Blake Allen rounding out the top through, and storming home was Brian Chill of Brisbane Grammar to get himself and his team into third. So 1:43.69, a fraction of a second faster than Heat 2. With one heat to come, the fireworks on. Geez, Cranbrook started their celebration early there.
They knew they had it done. They had faith in their teammate to bring it home.
So here we go for the money, the fourth and final. Boys, 13-14 years, 4x50, freestyle relay. Away comfortably here in the pool. You can see once again on your screen the middle of the pool battling out. That is Surrey Park A, Knox Pymble A, Nunawading A. Huntang Wang back in the action and competing strongly. He has been out of action in some of the individual events, but he's delivered here for his team through this opening 50. He'll hand over in the lead.
Great swim there by Hantang Huang. 24-41 for Nunawading. So the two Victorian teams, Nunawading and Surrey Park, making a bit of a sandwich there for Knox Pymble out of New South Wales. So big bragging rights up for grabs in this battle. We saw the Big V state relays take the W's earlier in the week, but Jacob Deere has just thrown down a pretty solid second split, 24-59, to get his team into first place. And can the Knox Pymble team hold on the Victorian onslaught?
Well, we know what's coming. Isaac Ishmael standing on the blocks for Surrey Park now. He's got a tall task ahead of him, this Knox Pymble team. It means all the business. Liam Joy will anchor them home. He leads off. He's got a second to second, which is Hall. Nunawading, maybe the only challengers, but Ishmael in for third now. And he's absolutely screaming down this final 50, but it won't be enough. Knox Pymble will take another title here as Bradley Honor will hold on for the victory. Stopping the clock there, 1:38.55. A very fast final 50. Gets it done for Knox Pymble. Second went to Nunawading. Surrey Park making it a minor medal podium for Victoria. New South Wales on top.
And Ishmael's the only swimmer there under 24 seconds with a 23.85 in that field. So he did everything he could. But the Knox Pymble team, yes, very solid. That's the beauty about the relays. You need 4 really good swims to get the chocolates.
Don't forget, plenty of action still left in the pool, but for all your news, head to @Swimming Australia, Facebook, Instagram and X, and don't forget the daily 6-pack on the Swimming Australia website as well. Get your preview for all things 2026 Australian Age Championships. They've done a fantastic job, the media team, this week. As always, covering our athletes the best way possible. So confirming first, that was the results. Knox Pimble in the fourth and final heat takes the win outright as well. Nuttawading, Surrey Park also on the podium. And we meet the first of 4 heats here in the girls 15-16 years 4x50 freestyle relay. The second last event on the program and the last event for the girls today. Underway here is the first of 4 heats. As we look across the pool, you can see fairly even start from all. Sitting now with MLC out of lane 4. That's Lucy Reed. Just starting to wrangle for the lead of the race. Ristig of Propulsion. Thorne in the side. Big Thorne, in fact. She'll take the lead 50-metre swum.
Great job there. Propulsion doing it very well out in lane 1. Really want to get in there and set a good time in these early heats and see if that time holds up. But it is all about just getting out there and giving it your best effort and having a crack. That's what we love to see as the MLC team moving through very nicely, courtesy of Amelia Lamb. They'll wheel touch first and Propulsion just off the pace there in second as the field starts to move up and bunch up a touch. But MLC leading the charge in this early heat. They'll get about a half a body length on the rest of the field, but as we've said, it takes 4 to tango. And they're going to move through nicely. MLC going to touch and hand off to their last swimmer. As the girls are in the water and they are heading for home. MLC still getting the advantage here. Albany Creek doing a great job as well. And Camden, Atlantis, Propulsion, everyone's starting to fire up as the field bunches up. Somerville House moving through nicely as well. Daisy Dingle putting in a fantastic effort for her team. Getting into second place there. MLC, Bethan Chug, great job there. So 1:51.48 will be the time to beat from here on out.
A great way to start the girls 15-16 years, and you can see just how much it means for these athletes to be able to stand up in a relay. To talk through, Alex, obviously such great pride comes from that national record you hold with your boys at Miami. Long live the record. So we move to heat 2 of 4. This is the girls 15-16 years 4x50 freestyle. Eloise Sheldrick spearheading your screen there. As you can see, Phoenix making their mark on this opening 50. Absolutely flying through the water is Sheldrick in 4.
Yeah, Sheldrick just blowing the rest of the girls away, going for that time. 25.9, great job there. As she's just rocketed the Phoenix squad into first place, and that time will count. So if you have a lead-off time off the gun, that will go towards your PB. So whatever happens there, if it's a PB or a record or anything like that, that will count. So the Phoenix squad still moving through nicely. Dig Giuseppe doing a great job here and still leading out. That lead will not change. Sienna Tyler getting her team from Moreton Bay in a very good position as well. And the Carlisle squad is right up there, but at the moment it is all Phoenix.
Yeah, they are a really strong sprint freestyle program, and they are absolutely lighting the pool on fire here. The second of 4 heats, but we'll keep an eye on the clock. The final changeover, it's Harding into Bowie. And Phoenix well and truly in front of the field. In fact, almost a full second from first to second. As they come down this final 50, it's all sitting here with Arabella Bowie. And Bowie holding on, but the challenge is coming from Moreton Bay. So Moreton Bay trying to push up to the lead, but it won't be enough. The Phoenix will hold on for the win, and they do so 1:49.70. I think we need to write that time down. Second, going the way of Breakers, storming home through Lara Wright. Watch the replay here. So fast off the blocks with Sheldrick. She was bronze in the girls' 16 years 50 freestyle with a 25.92. So she actually bested her time individually. So as you said, Alex, that time will count as a personal best as we get confirmed results here. And head to the blocks for Heat 3. Underway now. Heat 3 of 4. We saw the time, 1:49 is the mark to beat. It's going to take a big effort, but the athletes in the pool doing a fantastic job through the opening 25 metres. You can see the battle on the top of the pool. That is St Andrews. No, in fact, PLC Sydney.
Yes, it is indeed. And Brisbane Grammar moving through nicely, but even on the other side of the pool there, doing a fantastic job is the team from Cruz.
Yeah, Lily Young flying off the blocks there, 26.61. But you can see now we are getting the challenge all over the pool. This is absolute nightmare stuff for commentators. Field out in lane 1. Should hand over here for Brisbane Grammar, and does. 100 metres done, 53.59 through the turn. Going well, Trinity Grammar in lane 2. And still up in the top 3. We go all the way out to lane number 9.
Exactly right. Well, the field is very tight. It's anyone's guess as to who is going to take this one out. But the St Andrews team moving through nicely. Right next to them, the Knox Pimble squad that has so much success already. The Newmarket Racers also moving as well through to Kelly Bauman. That was a fantastic leg there. And the race is there for the taking. As the anchor swimmers go in, the Ron Burgundys, everyone is in the water.
How's this finish coming in from Newmarket Racers? They timed this one to perfection. They were up there, but they've dominated the second half. And Johnston holds on, 1:48.04, so beating that mark from the second heat, 1:48.04, the time to beat now. Second was the way of Sydney Uni, 1:48.84. So ultimately, that second half just absolutely blowing the field apart for Newmarket Racers.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's different tactics you can take in a relay. Sometimes you want to put your fastest swimmer up first. Sometimes you want to send them up the back. And then, like I said, it does take all 4 swimmers to put in a fantastic effort to take that national title. We always had Kyle Chalmers in the back of our 4x1s, so always felt pretty safe.
Loves a bit of a relay, famously.
Take your marks.
So 1:48.04, the time to beat, the 4th and final heat in the water, competing here for a national title. You sit with Liliana Jones of St. Peter's Weston flying down this opening 50. But as we look across the field, again, nightmare fuel as we come to the end of the first 50. It's anyone's race. Miami looks to be leading, but Somerset up there as well. Somerville House, in fact.
Yep, Miami, Jessica Mello will get her team in the water in first. The Newmarket Racers, we just saw their B team take out the previous heat. So can the A team get some inspiration from that? It looks like it's Miami doing a fantastic job here in Somerville House as well, moving through nicely. They've got some really, really good sprinters in that squad for the girls, and they will touch first at the halfway point in a 52.2. Annika Corbett putting together a great swim there. But the Miami squad not going anywhere as the field starts to bunch up. Just a touch. But as I just mentioned, Somerville House, Emma McMahon flying down now. She's got that straight arm action. She's propelling herself through the water. But here come the Newmarket Racers and the Miami squads and the St. Peter's squads. Everything is going to be tight.
Well, watch out here for Newmarket Racers. They bring in their final swimmer. And who else than Lila Rebo getting ready to race and pushing up now alongside Somerville House, who has Ava Kearns in the water. So Kearns and Rebo coming down all the way through this final 4x50. It goes the way of Newmarket Racers. Lila Rebo de Brazac. We've said it throughout and we'll say it again. Newmarket Racers are here to play, and here to play with a gold to end the women's program on night 6.
Yeah, they definitely got inspired by the previous heat. The great work for the Newmarket Racers. Lila Ribot de Bressac with a fantastic split there at 25-42 to come over the top of the Somerville House team.
That's a tough way to miss out on a national gold, but good for Somerville to hold on there for silver. Just 0.23 of a second separating the top two, and then Nudgee College rounding out in the really confident bronze medal, but just 0.03 separating bronze to 4. So, as I said, nightmare fuel for commentators, but fantastic racing in the pool. I'd much rather that.
Exactly right. We may make some mistakes, but forgive us because the racing is tight.
So we move now to the final event of day 6 competition, and it is the boys 15-16 4x50 meter freestyle relays. The first of 5 heats swimming from the pool. Macquarie University represented in 5. But moving through is lane 3, the Trinity Grana with David Kang. Kang will touch in second. Luke Chen hitting the wall with a 24.96 to lead us off.
It is Luke Chang out there from Narrabeen, doing a great job there as the boys start to move through, set up the race very nicely. It's always pivotal to have a solid swim off the front. But Randwick City moving very nicely as well. Delaclef's doing a good job there. Trinity Grammar touching as well in second place in these early heats. Expect these to be fast and furious. The boys will be fired up watching everyone else have their turn of the relays. Would have watched in the marshalling room. I'm sure there would have been a bit of slapping of the arms. Getting really revved up for this national championship.
Down to the final changeover. It still is Randwick City holding them off. 1:15.14 with 50 metres to swim. Out there, Trinity Grammar sits in second, and Nunawading rounding out the top 3 as well. So the final 50 in the water, competing for the first of 5 heats. They want to lodge the fastest time possible, and Randwick City will step up here. A fantastic final 50 from Gunwan, and he gets the win. 1:40.09, Randwick City. Gunwan, on the wall there, and just absolutely putting on a show.
Yeah, have some fun with it. It's national age. You're on telly. Milk it. Post it on Insta. Do what you need to do. Get that street cred. You deserve it. You've just won the race. The team's done extremely well. So give each other a pat on the back and go have pizza.
Oh, he's up and about down here on pool deck as well. Runner 1. Runner muck, more likely.
Got some dap-ups here. It's all happening. It's all happening here on night 6 of the Age Champs.
4 heats to come, though.
Can't get too excited just yet. We've got to leave some energy. Even the crickets are up and about. Look at that.
Well, it's been a fantastic night. Thanks for joining us on Nine's Wide World of Sport. Don't go anywhere, though. We've still got 4 heats to come in the final event. And, of course, 2 days of action still ahead, with plenty of big names still to take to the water. But for now, the boys enjoying some screen time, and we get ready for the second of 5 heats here.
For those following along at home, Will and I are now standing up with that excited.
Yeah, from the edge of the seats to just on the tippy toes.
Heaps of action here. The lights are shining bright. It's Thursday night. It's almost the weekend. Doesn't matter for these athletes because they've been here all week, absolutely dominating.
The Heat 2 hits the water and underway the 4x50 freestyle relay. We love finishing on a relay. Last one, fast one for night 6, and that certainly stood up to prophecy. Looking to the water, we can see Connor Watts leading us out of lane 6. That's Dapto 18, and they should hit the wall first. No, commentator's curse strikes again. Fairholm gets through Taylor Wan.
It is. I'm expecting the lead to chop and change a little bit here early in the heats as different swimmers will jump in and test their abilities. It looks to be Nunawading taking an early lead here, courtesy of Brian Gang. And that is correct.
Yes, Nunawading stepping up already through the first 100, so they take an early lead. As we said, we expect it to jump and change. This is Nunawading A in the water. We're currently sitting in lane 6. But with 50 metres to come, you can see the change once again. It is 6 now that hits the lead. No, second. Nunawading still hold fractions of a second in front of Dapto A. So Nunawading A, Dapto A battling here with Surrey Park as well down the final 50. Who will get the touch? What a final 50 it has been here from Janarasa out in lane 2. And Nunawading will hold on. 1:39.03 on the touch. Second going the way of Dapto. A fast start, but ultimately not fast enough as Nunawading take the win. Third place goes to lane 4. Of course, Flinders Phoenix, and you can see the boys again up and about as they deserve to be. Nunawading's time in the spotlight. It was a fantastic final 50 there. We watch back our replay. We can see the action all the way through to the final 50.
Good shot there. Finishing touches on the relays.
Tell you what, we might get an invoice from the Queensland State Government with how many splashes we've lost water from the pool. So the third of 5 heats underway and swimming. As we make our way through these relays, we keep getting faster, including this incredible start that we're seeing from Hale out in lane 2. But as we go even wider, Southside Penrose Wesley out of lane 0 will lead us through this first 50.
Well, we love to see those outside lanes firing up. If you've got a lane, you've got a chance. That's the motto. It's all the same pool. So get in there, give it a fair crack, and that's exactly what Southside Penrose are doing. And Jackson Lewis putting his team even further in front as he approaches the wall. It's actually going to be SLC Aqueduct taking the lead there. Max Mura putting together a great split there. But it is tight. As we've seen in the other heats, the races are bunching up. Yeah, very hard to call here. There's a lot of white water around. The boys are fast, they're furious. And they're going to come down to the touch. It is still SLC Aqueduct that are going to be leading us down the final change.
Yeah, Albert Wang doing a fantastic job there on that third 50 to hold on here for SLC Aqueduct. The challenge coming on the far side of the pool, as you see on the screen. Hale leads the charges. They were sitting third. What can they produce in this final 50? It's going to be all the way to the touch. And it sits with SLC Aqueduct. What a valiant effort to bring us home. Kai Pilkington. And he's pretty happy with that one, as he deserves to be, holding on point Whoa, 0.04, 0.08 from first through third. That was incredibly tight all the way through the final finish.
I thought Hale actually got that just from the naked eye, but touchpads know best.
The penultimate heat of the final event in the water, 4 of 5, and we are starting to sizzle here at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre. Absolutely electric through the pool. You can see the battle in 1 and 4. We've got Cranbrook in 4, Somerville House out in 1. Who's going to get the touch will go the way of Cranbrook, and it does go comfortably to Whitten, 23.88.
Absolutely, and it's Miami as well out there in lane 7. Tay Ashcroft putting together a great swim. Now their second swimmer as well, Cooper Hudson, moving through very nicely, but all the heats as we get deeper and deeper into the heats, they're all getting tighter and very hard to call. I think Miami has it at this point, but it could be Knox Pymble as well. They're right there.
He called it right, Alex. Miami take the lead, 48 through the turn, but how's the changeover out of Somerville House? They look to be up there with the best of them as they come down to the final change. It's Archie Reynolds up there against the very best of Heat 4. How's this shot? Schneider's in lane 8. Can he steal the lead? He does.
Schneider's with a ripping effort there. Fantastic leg to put the Caulfield Grammar team in contention, and a fantastic changeover from Alfie Contronero. But out there in lane 0 as well, or it's lane 1, Lewis Jackson is putting together a fantastic swim as well. This is going to go down to the wire. Is it going to be Somerville House? It is. Second out there, Newington. Third place, Sopak.
Standing on his business, Jackson Lewis of Somerville House. They know how to race a fast 50. We watch it back, it was incredibly tight. I think we had about 3 different lead changes on the touchpads and even more in the water, but Somerville House get it done. Now the 5th and final heat ready to race here of the last event of this evening. So we dive into the water for the final time on night 6. And again, we've said it all evening, but how's the start? In lane 4, Ethan Hagabart. He was so good in the 50 individual through the heats, and now he's getting another chance to absolutely obliterate the field, 22.75. A very fast start for Ethan Hagabart.
Yeah, he's done a great job there, Ethan Hagabart, getting that Knox Pymble side, and they're off and they are flying. They've got a body length on the rest of the field. Lucas Dunn now in the water. This is an extremely strong team from Knox Pymble. He will hand off to Hudson Haggerty, who dives in like a bullet and will get a fantastic underwater. He almost put a body length just on that underwater. So this Knox Pymble squad are flying. It is going to be rapid. The battle for second and third is on. You can see there's just a little bit of wash there to contend with. Knox Pymble are way out in front now. Got a few body lengths as they'll hand off to their final swimmer, Oliver Wall. He'll get to the water. Now the job is just to get to the wall in first place. Hold on, Oliver Wall.
Yeah, Oliver Wall has heard what we were saying, Alex, and he said, I'll raise you on, boys, don't worry about this. We will absolutely obliterate the field. And that's what they've done, almost not even in camera shot, stopping the clock, 1:31.57. Wow, the most dominant performance comes from the night. 6 relays dominating through the final 50. Knox Pymble stand atop of the country, 1:31.57. That goes up there with one of the swims of the night. 3 athletes under the under the 23 mark. And
we might have to record check that, I'd say.
That is unbelievable.
That could be very close to the Australian record. We will check that. And it is legal. Everything up on the board now. Great job there. Fantastic splits. 22-7, 22-6, 22-9, 23-1.
So that wraps the action on night 6 of the 2026 Australian Age Championships. Thanks for joining us on Nine's Wide World of Sports. Of course, don't forget Heats number 7 start tomorrow morning. We'll see you then.
This has been another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sports.